Greg's trying to get me saying, "Look at me, I'm Peter Pan. I'm a little boy forever."
It's happening. That's the beginning of the show. We're recording though, so go ahead.
Well, then hit that song, DJ.
All right.
Oh, no way. Oh my God. No way. Oh my
Welcome, everybody. The return, episode 106 of 1 million. Let's just say it, right?
Of a million.
We're in it for the long haul now.
Yeah.
Of the Serial Chillers podcast. We're back, baby.
We're back.
Hi, Greg.
Hello.
Hey,
Yeah.
hit that song, DJ.
Oh.
How goes it? Hello, Greg.
I'm chilling.
Illin all
Yeah.
day, every day.
I'm chill. I'm anxious. I'm out of the house. I'm not digging that. But aside from that, I'm chilling.
Yes. Well, as I said before, we are back. We might have a little rust to break off, but we brought some favorite guests for you guys to hang out with here today.
That's me.
It takes no introduction. Let me introduce you to the tallest guy I know. He's got that super sweet name down in the screen. Paul.
Hi.
Hey, Paul.
Hi.
Welcome back, buddy.
Hi, friend.
It's always let's call it a delight to have
It's
you
something.
here.
We can all agree it's probably something.
It is something. It
Yeah.
is something. It for sure is something.
It's a feeling.
And another fan favorite, ring and now knife designer extraordinaire. Everybody, check out Biggfoot.
Ooh, BIGGFOOT Designs.
Yes, it's on the screen now. So that is something we should add. Is if you're listening, wonderful. Keep listening. That's how we do it here. But if you're a YouTube kind of person, talking to you, you can see it now. We've got the show on YouTube, and check it out. So back to Casey. Bigfoot, how are you?
Good, man. How about you?
I'm very good.
Stoked to be here.
Yeah, it was like a super easy decision to make. We were like, hey, we're gonna come back. Paul's in the group text, so we had to invite him.
Yep.
And then we invited you.
What's up? Thanks, man. I appreciate you bringing me into the group. Not
Yeah.
to the group text, but I appreciate you bringing me
Yeah,
into
I mean, look, there's levels. You
We
know,
brought
There's
you into the
levels.
fold.
Yeah, they didn't have a choice.
when you said group text, I thought you just meant fantasy football league at first.
Oh, you're like, oh, I wasn't in that, you
Yeah.
son of a bitch.
That's how we trick people in.
So, there's going to be some changes to the show, guys. The changes are we won't have guest stories anymore. If a guest is like, dude, I have to tell this story, we'll work on it and we'll work it into the show somehow. But for the most part, we're going to keep it pretty streamlined, and we are going to just tell you a story. Secondly, Hello Greg will also not be telling stories most episodes. If Hello Greg has a story to tell, Hello Greg is going to tell that story on a different episode in this stream. So you'll see it on YouTube, or you'll see it in Spotify or your favorite podcast app. Hello Greg will do his rants as he has done before, but he'll get an entire show to himself, so he can go as long as he wants. Greg,
Yeah.
are you excited to be here
Yes.
today? Are you excited to possibly rant on your own as soon as today?
In due time.
In due time.
In due time.
Something's going to piss him off bad, guys. I'm just going to be sending him links that trigger him so he wants to put episodes out for you guys.
Just trying to fuck with me.
Well, yeah.
It's not too hard.
When
Yeah.
I start crying and shit, that's gonna be on you.
So if you guys see shorter episode times, just know that is why. We're not going to be having a lot of distractions from the main story, but the main stories shall continue to be as fucked up as possible. Now, it has been 3 years. I would like to say, everybody, thanks for being here, hanging with us through the break. It's been a long time coming. We can thank a Reddit post, essentially, for spurring this.
Should I get that guy's username?
Yeah, you know what? We will. If Greg can pull it up, we'll throw your name in here, dude. Give you a shout out. But essentially, you would be the catalyst that got this back, because we got to talking about it, and Paul was very encouraging in the group text. And what I will say about the break is it was very necessary, and I'll give a 1-sentence statement on it. take care of your mental health.
Amen.
Do that shit. That shit is important, and I feel better than ever.
This fucking guy's username is Mac Farts.
All right, so Mac Farts. We
Shout out Mac Farts. We appreciate
this could almost solely be like you started the conversation.
I
Mac Farts.
screenshotted it and sent it to Jesse, and it went from there.
That's exactly how it went. And Paul was like, "Yo, I would listen again. Like sounds good to me." And
That's about all I have.
I think the third or fourth person that was you. I was like, "Yo, we're talking about this. We're bringing episodes back. Like, I think we need you on pretty quick
Let's
here."
do it.
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, done. In fucking let's go." So I don't think we've got a shot of the board, but that's good because we like to be sneaky. So we have a lot of great guests already booked for this season. A lot of memorable,
Many.
a lot of memorable voices.
Oh, hey, I
but-
know that guest.
Yeah.
Hey, I know that guest too.
Hey, see, he knows them. But a lot of this is going to be fun because a lot of you who are curious are going to get to go to YouTube and now see what a lot of these guests look like.
Ugh.
At your own
And be
risk.
sorely disappointed.
None of us are as handsome as we sound.
We're just upsetting the entire spank bank system of all of our listeners. It's global spank bank crisis.
All their imaginations are ruined by real pictures. They say never meet your heroes, guys. They say never meet your heroes.
If we're anybody's hero,
Yeah, it's
let's
a
have a
problem.
talk about standard.
Sad.
All right, man. You guys know how the show works, but let me explain it for anybody that doesn't because it is slightly adjusted. Each week, I sit down with old friends, new friends, good friends, and bad friends to tell the story of an infamous serial killer, something true crime, dark, creepy, unsolved, or otherwise mysterious. So there we go. No guest stories, but my stories might include something that a guest might bring in a far more expanded version. So hope you guys like more than serial killers. We are serial killers. We're out here chilling.
Chill.
But we're going to be doing lots of stuff.
Serially.
Serially.
Right? That's all we do.
Today, I did bring you a serial killer. But let me remind you about this. Throughout the show, if you guys have questions about questions, make sure to ask questions. Because I cannot answer questions about questions if you never ask questions. Paul's already ready to answer a question.
Oh, I remember this part. Hold on.
Okay. Are there any questions?
No. Wait, yeah.
I was
No.
gonna say you didn't seem very
Yeah.
sure about that.
No, he doesn't have a real
Damn
question.
it.
Do you have a real question?
No, never.
Okay.
Said no, wait, yeah.
Okay. Well then, welcome to and let's play the Serial Chillers podcast. God, that felt good.
That I was just gonna say.
It's
That
nice.
felt really good.
That's
that,
nice.
that felt good.
Feels right.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Today's killer. Tell me, have you heard of Luis Garavito?
No,
Don't think I have.
not even once.
Oh, interesting.
Isn't it?
Yes. Here's the thing. This guy.
TM.
Yeah. This guy is fucked up, like top notch. Like, oh man. So I figured we'd come back like that because, you know.
You got to start off.
Why
with
not?
this
Yeah,
heavy
we bring
hitters,
back
you
the
know?
best guests. We bring back the best.
The big hitter.
Yeah. And here's the thing, TM.
Tell me.
We're 105 episodes in of almost exclusively serial killer content. We are reaching outside the U.S. now. This isn't our first international episode by any means, but it is.
We did some Canadian shit. We did some.
Yeah, that Russian dude.
I was gonna say we did some Russian.
we did some.
killer.
We did some European stuff.
We did lots of names from England that I mispronounced and was thoroughly ribbed. No, but so Luis Garavito,
Would they call it taking the piss?
something like that. I don't know. Pip pip.
You haven't had to respect those people since 1776, so it's all good.
All right, guys. Question number 1.
Whoa.
In what year was Luis Garavito born? Closest to the answer will get 250 points. If you nail it, of course you know, it is worth 1,000.
Day, month, year.
Yeah, as always, day, month, year.
Oh, yeah. No, I remember that.
Yep, give me all of it. Day, month, year, 1, 2, 3. Guys got your answers?
For those of you
Yep.
in Europe, we do it day, month, year because that makes more sense. Instead of doing it month, day, year.
Yeah. So we've got December 3rd, 1954 from Bigfoot. March 17th, 1941 from Paul. 250 points to Bigfoot because Luis Alfredo Garavito Cubillos was born in Genova, Quindio on the 25th of January, 1957.
Ooh.
3 years from nailing it.
That's close.
Paul, if you could, please use a darker pen. That'd make it a little easier for me. Baby blue on white. Just use the yellow highlighter.
It just
why
looks like
don't
the
you?
lines
A
that are.
large black Sharpie now.
There we go. So his parents were Manuel Antonio Garavito and Rosa Delia Cubillos.
Question.
Yes.
Why is this taped together?
Ask my kid. That is definitely my
I will
kid.
not use that pin.
My kid
Not with
loves
that
to.
attitude.
She tapes the scissors together.
That's like especially evil. Because
Yeah, because
how are you
like,
gonna get the scissors apart?
Exactly that. I'm like, I
got a
guess I'll go
strong
find an
arm.
X-Acto knife. So his father, Manuel Antonio, was described by Garavito as adulterous, drunken, macho, very strict, and often physically and emotionally abusive to Garavito throughout his childhood.
Seems
So-
par for the course.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I missed one thing. I want to step back and just cover my references. There are 2 documentaries. One is called The Beast, Luis Garavito, and the other one is literally called Luis Garavito, The Beast.
Nice.
No joke. And then there are about 100 references, all pulled from the bottom of the Wikipedia page. So if you guys want this information,
Yes, the Wikipedia.
well, I've gotten good at it. And you go to the bottom and you go to the source, and then you can say you didn't reference Wikipedia the whole time, even though that's exactly
Hear that, students?
the sources are all at the bottom, you idiots.
It's called a bibliography.
Let us know. We'll help you put it in MLM format.
I won't.
I will not.
Yeah.
So,
I don't
what
even
it-
know what that is.
If first of all, if I had to describe my dad, I don't know that I would have 7 words to be able to be like, oh, pretty cool guy, I guess. I don't know. My
That's
father,
7.
yes.
That's 7.
Adulterous. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, adulterous, drunken, macho, very strict, and often physically and emotionally abusive. This wasn't all.
That sounds like somebody who's rehearsed what they want to say about that.
Well,
person.
I mean, this is a guy who's, trust me,
Yeah.
I'm not going to feel bad for him at the end. Generally, we don't, right? Fuckface Anonymous, that's
Well,
the club we have here.
Yeah.
So his mother's also kind of a piece of shit. He described her as a violent woman and someone who showed him little affection and care as a child. During his early childhood, there was an armed conflict taking place in Cuba. Although abusive, his parents ultimately chose safety and chose to relocate to Sayan Valle de Cuaco just before Luis would start school in Colombia. So he's going to Colombia. We went from having to pronounce upstate New York names to having to pronounce European names, having to pronounce South American names, and to everybody, I'm not sorry. I'm fucking trying, man.
I'm
fucking
what I'm gonna try
trying.
and do is put it on the bottom of the screen. I'm gonna figure that out, and then I'm gonna figure out how to put the little bouncing ball along the top.
I'll send you the outline, fucker. Are you trying?
I can see him leaning in every time.
He's trying to. Paul loves the cameras. If you,
Yeah.
hey, everybody, just watch episode 106 on YouTube. Paul's having too much fun.
Hey guys,
He's
buy your
loving it.
Cromulent Jesse merch,
Yeah. Yes, thank you.
T-shirt.
Yeah, so a lot of you won't know that. I have been pretty much streaming to Twitch the entire time we've been off of that. So you might hear Cromulent Jesse as a way that I'm referred to now. That's my name now. I'd like to be referred
Changed
to
it
as
legally.
that. Yeah. It's my pronoun is Cromulent. Hit me
I
up.
dig it.
That's new.
Yep. Perfectly Cromulent if you like. It embiggens me.
That's the full name.
So obviously, he claims to have had a very toxic upbringing. There's not a whole lot that we can prove, but his life wasn't documented as a child. But he says both parents very abusive. Toxic upbringing would be a huge understatement, as the family troubles with loud fights, domestic violence, and child abuse would be prevalent. And there are documented police reports of fights between mom and dad, which aren't good for the kids. It'll traumatize a fucking kid. But there is nothing documented that I could find that was directly showing Luis being abused. abused he was. He was in the home, but directly physically abused, I cannot find. So as a child, Luis tells the story of being strapped to a tree and beaten with a branch by his father.
Jesus.
Adrian Peterson method.
Wow.
Question number 2. I mean, it's literally what he did. So
I know.
he's a great running back still. Question number 2. Why did Luis receive this punishment? Was it A, defending his mother, B, stole money from his dad, C, embarrassed his family, or D, no reason, his dad just wanted to set an example? Strapped to a tree, beaten with a branch. There are letters, Paul. Paul says embarrass the family. C. Bigfoot says D, no reason. The reason was that he was defending his mother.
Oh, boo.
I mean,
not
abused
boo, but like-
people will often defend. Yeah, that you got no points, boo.
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
So he got the punishment for defending his mother. Again, his mother is abusive, but often abused people do defend and stick by the people who abuse them. She was essentially also attempting to be abusive towards the father. The father struck back. He was beating her. She was beating him. The father started to get the upper hand at this time. Luis pretty much stepped between them and broke up the fight.
And then the parents both said, well, hell, we're stronger than the kids. And
Yeah.
then they turned all their attention on the kids.
Well, I mean, Luis's father turned all of his attention on him and took him out, strapped him to a tree, and
yeah,
beat him with a branch.
that's what I'm saying.
Got to go out and pull a switch.
Distraction
Yeah,
completed.
distraction method. Good job, buddy. Strange that his mother didn't come to his rescue. Interesting. An eye for an eye. It is not in this family.
Yes.
Later, Manuel, his father, had such a reputation for being quick to anger and violence that his children would just hide throughout the house when he would arrive home from work. That's actually kind of a dream. I don't want to abuse my kids, but if they just
Dad's home. Let's go.
So went away for a little while.
where did he? What was the academy from Arrested Development? It's like a Millwood man. You always know a Millwood man. It's like
All I
neither
can think
seen
of
nor
is,
heard.
I'm going back to Army.
Mother.
The seal's for bravery. And the otters for sand racing.
And he got his arm taken by a loose seal. So at this time, imagine being like, oh, Dad's home. My dad
Bail.
got home and I was like, hey, Dad, fuck yeah. Hey, welcome home from work. These kids were like, oh, shit, everybody fucking go hide. Hide. And they would go hide throughout the house because he was such an asshole. It's like,
Good.
better just go hide in an armoire than get my goddamn ass kicked when my dad gets home.
I can't help but think about the scene from The Simpsons when Patty and Selma come over to visit and the kids all hide in the closet.
Mm-hmm.
And then Patty and Selma open the closet and they're like, take your coat.
Yeah. It's like in the oven. Did you want dinner, Dad? Or
I'm just in here making sure everything was working right. I was trying to clean and the damn thing snapped shut.
So another claim Luis would make against his father is that so they lived in a very small home. I didn't put it in here. There's things that I'm trying to leave out of episodes now. Victims' last names, relatives' names.
Respectable.
Yeah, I want to say that he had 5 siblings, so 6 total kids, 2 parents, 2 beds in the house. So Luis slept with his dad and 2 of his brothers, I think, and he claims that his dad did some fondling on at least one occasion. Possibly a few more. Luis says he would do it during his sleep, and sometimes he'd wake up to it, and his dad would stop. So there are claims being made all over by Luis, from he was an asshole to he beat me. He beat us all so bad he had to hide. Also, he diddled my dick when I sleep.
He was a diddler.
Well, and
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like any of those things are mutually exclusive ideas. So
Right. It's called escalation.
yeah,
Manuel would be the kind of father you would expect. Okay, so essentially, you would think that there would be some type of bond between a father and his oldest son, which is Luis, who he's abused and diddled. But even in relationships like this, still we see a connection between the father and son because, like we said, the kids don't know any other way. It's an unconditional love for your parents when you're young. This is not the case. Manuel began referring to Luis as imbecile and bastard.
Ooh.
And I don't mean sometimes he'd be like, "Oh, you imbecile" or "You bastard." And I'm sure those sound way cooler in whatever language that they were spoken.
Colombian.
But
Colombian?
yeah. Well, they're from
Cuba?
Cuba. But okay, anyway, Cuban B.
Yes.
So when I say referring to, I don't mean he occasionally called him an imbecile or a bastard.
He'd be walking through the house and he'd be like, "Hey, imbecile."
He no longer called him Luis. He was referred to as one of those two things until he no longer saw his father. Luis claimed that the only times his father wasn't completely destroying him was when he needed help with a work-related matter. Even in these times, he was not kind, but at least more tolerable. Luis would attend Simon Bolivar School, where he would show that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, when early on he would be prone to violent outbursts toward classmates who would also seem to gravitate towards him in their solidarity to abuse him in any way possible. So he was a shithead bully with a short fuse, but he was also getting bullied by other shithead bullies with a short fuse at school. And then you'd go home and he would get bullied by a shithead bully with a short fuse at home. And
Just
Sounds
assholes
like a
all
rough
around.
life.
yeah, I mean, exactly. If you go to school with assholes and you go home and it's assholes, what other chance do you have? What?
So you're saying it's
Your options.
nurture. rather
I'm
than
saying that it's a combination of both. I think I've always been clear on that stance that you can definitely nurture someone into fucking killing people, and there are definitely some people who are born with chemical imbalances and things that empathy and things that we have, as small as they may be, that are lacking completely. And some of them become great CEOs, and
This is true.
And the Wolf of Wall Street.
sure. And they find their
Hear that,
way through
Jordan
life
Belfort?
without ever murdering somebody.
Yeah.
Maybe just thinking about it. Come on,
Well, let's be honest. Who hasn't?
But we say it a lot at the beginning of these episodes. It's been 3 years, but I still remember saying this a lot. Never really had a chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just never had a fucking chance. And again, remember, they moved from Cuba because there's some gnarly armed conflict. Remember, think about it. He was born in 1950s Cuba.
Yeah. Bad year.
Is not a good time. Not a good time.
Bad couple decades.
Yeah. Had those cigars though. Am I right? Hey, if you want to throw up extra hard, those are the ones for me.
You're supposed to take the plastic off first.
Despite everything taking place around Luis's teachers remember him as a decent student that did want to learn. Although he had a thirst for knowledge, he had a hard time grasping many subjects and concepts in school, which would lead to a nickname being bestowed upon him by his classmates. So, he's imbecile and bastard at home. He's bullied at home. He's bullied at school. His classmates also give him a nickname. Question number 3.
This kid's life is a full Call of Duty lobby.
What was the nickname given to Lil Luis? Was it A, Dull Boy, B, The Wall, C, Squiggle, or D, Smoosh?
I hope it's Squiggle.
Then make that your guess.
Dull Boy,
Hey,
The
don't
Wall,
give away my answers.
Squiggle, or Smoosh?
I did not write C. I wrote C.
Smush is pretty good. I feel like I knew somebody whose name was Smush.
All right, Bigfoot says Dull Boy. Paul says Squiggle. The kids at school would call him Garabato, meaning squiggle.
How is that a translation?
Idiot.
Well, that's what I said about him being called an imbecile and a bastard. It probably doesn't sound anything like that. Probably sounds much more offensive. Let's be honest. Those
Yeah,
words
that's
don't hurt that bad.
That's 250 to Paul.
Yeah, it's 250 to Paul.
Squiggle. Just call me
Squiggle.
Squiggle.
Old squiggle.
So
my
we've
new
got the
nickname.
scores on the board now. I'm trying to keep track of them here on paper too, just in case there's some type of issue. His name was given mainly for his glasses and timid nature.
All right.
I don't know what's squiggly about glasses. Like, I don't look at you and go, man, that motherfucker is squiggly.
I'm about to start calling you Squiggles, though.
I'll take
There
it.
it is.
Squ-
I'll
All right,
take it.
well, look at it. Now you've got a nickname.
Oh, Squiggles.
Besides just being sleepy all the time. Despite the many disadvantages he faced, Garavito was very insecure of his glasses and rarely played with other children, due in part to how he felt and another part in how aggressive the children treated him. So he didn't make much of an effort to make friends beyond the bullies, but it kind of sounds like maybe everybody was just bullying him. Maybe just everybody. Seems like the kind of kid that's like in 7th grade and the 4th graders walk up and go, "What's up, bitch? Give me your money." And he's like, here you go. Sorry, Mark. I'll see you at lunch, right?
And then he
Shut up, Luis.
Then he goes and shut up, Squiggle.
Yeah, shut up, Squiggle.
And then he goes and takes it out on somebody else.
Yes.
Cycle of abuse.
Luis recalled that despite his teachers seeing a lot of this abuse take place, the educators did nothing to stop the behavior of other children towards him, so he continued to be bullied. It's not their fucking job to step in, all right? No, that's like
Isn't that like,
almost that's like half their job.
I was gonna say
Not
that's
in the 50s.
That's a good chunk of their job, though.
Yeah, I don't know what it was like in 50s Colombia. He would later say that it had disturbed him that no one stepped in to help a child in need. You know, like you're taught as a child to trust adults, and when you need, like, oh, I need an adult, like that's
Well,
what you
yeah,
do.
but you're also-
lost. You find an adult who's like wearing a name badge, and like they'll get you through. And,
You're also supposed to trust like your parents,
yeah, that's
and your
true.
dad just calls you bastard, which
That's also true.
Like, is-
So instead of growing up and being somebody that helps children in need, he decided to kill.
yeah.
All right.
seems
I
like the
get
next logical leap.
You saw
Yeah.
where that was going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I connected the dots
Weird.
right there.
Weird
Check
that
you
it
out.
took you that long.
Yeah.
So in approximately 1968, so he's about 14 at this time, his father took Luis out of school to start working and making money for the family. Garavito did not want to do this, even though school was not exactly a safe place for him either. He felt his chances were better being around his father all day, because that's only one person versus the entire school who is bullying him. Once he started working with his father told him that he could not have friends or be in a relationship. So
Exclusivity.
So he's
it's like you show up to work every day walking, and your boss goes, "You cannot drive to work. I'm telling you right now, motherfucker. If I see you driving to work, you're fucking dead, dude."
it's yeah, that seems a little more like that's the emotional abuse that he was talking about.
Yeah, it's just like so much passive aggression that he just like knows his son only
Well,
gets
that's what-
bullied, and he's like, "Hey, also while you're working with me, you can't have any friends, all right?
That's
Oh,
what
you want a
abusers
girlfriend?
Do though they isolate you so you don't have anybody to tell you like what kind of shape you're in.
Yeah, and just for the record, everybody, Circle is a shape. Sometime in 1969, Luis was subject to violent sexual abuse at the hands of a local drugstore operator and friend of his father's. So this probably happened. This is a little more, yeah, definitely happened. Like the diddling of his father, I'm not saying it didn't. But it's just a word against a word. This is more like, yeah, this happened. This man allegedly tied Luis to a bed before burning him with candle wax, inflicting razor blade slices, and repeatedly biting hard enough to leave marks, all while molesting the boy further sexually.
Who is this guy? Fucking Marv Albert? What the fuck, dude? Like,
Yeah, it's
I mean,
well, and
God
I mean,
damn.
sexual torture is
No, I get
is
it,
Not,
like,
yeah, it's definitely
two words I hate seeing next to each other, but I get it. It's
Like,
just, God damn.
I think we've all, whether it was sexually or not, had candle wax. Whether it was on your hand or you got it on your arm or whatever, like it doesn't feel amazing anywhere. I can't imagine like having it like poured over my chest and not one. Following the abuse, Luis' disposition, we've got to have some edge, right? Following this abuse, Luis' disposition towards the world turned a lot more angry than it had been before.
Gee.
Already pretty angry.
You think?
What'd you say? Shocking.
Yes, that's exactly what I say.
So Luis decided to kill two birds and dissect them. Okay, so he's like getting to this point. We're
I
talking
thought
about
you were gonna
escalation.
say with one
stone. I know.
I thought you were gonna say
It's a
he
great
decided to, like-
fake out, buddy.
I thought you were gonna say something like, "Oh yeah, he decided to like get his life together and and go back to school or some shit." And you just
did
fucking.
ya?
I
listen.
hoped.
You're new around here, bud.
No, but
He has times. There are times where you'll think that. This isn't one of them.
I hope.
This is like the following day, I guess. Like he gets sexually abused. He goes home. His brains are fucking scrambled. The next day, he's like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to go kill some fucking birds. Decides to kill 2 birds, dissect them alive. So he catches 2 birds, dissects them to kill them. In a way. So this was one of the few that like I found. Like one of them said he killed the birds and dissected them. A few of the sightings said he caught the birds, dissected them while they were alive. So take it how you will. In a way, this was to let out his aggression, but he claims that all that he felt after doing it was remorse. And I also think that's like another thing too that like
he felt remorse.
well, that's what he says.
All
But
right,
it's
then.
like it's sort of like one of those things that like some of us will have experienced, like with a BB gun. You're everybody like shooting at a bird, and you're like, I'm not gonna hit it, and then you fucking hit
Bart
it.
Simpson.
Yeah, and then you're just like, damn it, dude.
You even compensated for the crooked sight.
Yeah, what?
Nice kill, killer.
Did that once with a rock and a squirrel. I was like throwing it at a squirrel. I was like,
Fucking
I
hit it and felt hella
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
You're like,
so,
damn, my actions have consequences.
That's what Luis is claiming. He killed the birds to dissect them, but then he just felt terrible after that. So, in the end, he would smash the birds with a rock. He claims he did this before they would suffer fully. So this is in the version where he kept them
Compassion.
alive while he was performing the surgery. Question number 4.
4.
Deciding for the moment, the killing is not for him.
Huh.
What is the next activity he tries to quell his inner demons? Is it A, becomes a great football/soccer player? Depending on where you are, there it would have been football. Becomes a peeping Tom, became a track and field standout, or begins sexually abusing his siblings.
Wow, we really ran the spectrum on answers
Yeah,
there.
I mean, I figured I'd give you some options.
Yeah.
Because Greg wants him to get his life together. So
I
if
do.
Greg were answering, he might lean towards one of these answers.
I want this whole episode to be a bait and switch. I want you to psych me out.
And remember, I did say there are times here where it's going to look like he's getting it back together. This could be the beginning of one. It could not be 2. It could not be as well. Both.
fucking black out at the top.
I also like that Bigfoot keeps writing the letters, and Paul writes, peeping man.
That's almost an answer.
So both of them say B, become a peeping Tom, which is like a relatively good guess.
That's what I would do. Awkward.
Yeah.
But
JK.
Is that because
Neither
of
of these
the
are
height?
incorrect.
You don't have to like jump the fence to see in there. You're just tall enough.
Yeah,
to,
dude.
you could just
fit
like
in
peeping Tom from your
there.
house.
Could you imagine
to
this
the whole
guy being a
neighborhood.
peeping Tom? Just this giant.
I do that to my
man
neighbors
just-
sometimes. I'll like hear him outside and I'll just walk up to the fence and just be standing over it. And just stand. But I'll just like stay still for like a minute and see if he notices. He hasn't
Janet, the
noticed,
giant
guys.
next door is outside again.
Just give him food. He always goes away. Throws like a full apple pie over the fence.
Ooh,
Farm
I
animals.
like pie.
Next time, make it Dutch, Janet. I like the crumble on top.
Peach crumble, please. That's my favorite.
Okay, no points for either of you because, unfortunately, you guys were on the right track. He does start escalating, but it was to begin sexually abusing his siblings. Easy targets.
Yeah, I didn't want to write it down.
Yeah, they're at home. He's like, well, I'm getting my ass kicked at school, getting my ass kicked at home. I got shitty nicknames at both. I'm too small to abuse my dad or.
What did I say earlier? Got to take it out on somebody smaller and weaker than you.
And he's the oldest child, so from here on, he's just going to start.
They're all hiding in armoires anyways.
So now, instead of
Knows
just
where
hiding from
they
your
are.
father, you can hide from your father and your oldest brother.
Yeah, fun game.
God damn it. Luckily, this episode isn't about all of the Garavito children.
Right. That's episode 108B.
So this is when he decided that instead of violence, perhaps he just needed to commit some sexual crimes of his own to feel a little better about his plight, right? Listen, anybody who wants to fix your life, sexually abusing your siblings, not going to be the answer. Just period. I don't know what your problem is. I don't even know. But I'll tell you right now what the answer is.
Not only is it not the first step, it's none of the steps.
Greg knows. Greg knows.
Whoa.
I'm just saying, he's speaking facts. So at this time, he's no longer sleeping in a bed with his dad, with just his siblings. And so before he's going to bed, he's just stripping completely naked and like getting in a bed that he shares with his siblings and being like, oh, sorry, it's just how I sleep now. So you guys don't like it, don't rub up against me a whole bunch. I'll probably be rubbing up against you a whole bunch. So at this time, he begins fondling and molesting his younger siblings right under the nose of his parents, who are not exactly, involved parents. Luis claims that he's going to be mostly abusing a 6-year-old boy from the neighborhood more than his siblings. It was around this age when everyone close to him would notice that he would become very withdrawn and subject to extremely violent outbursts. I know we already said this.
More than he has been.
Literally, I have here in parentheticals, both even more so than before. Like, he's more violent, he's more withdrawn, he's sinking back into his own world. With only one family member being quoted as saying, with a family member being quoted as saying that Luis constantly looked, quote, ready to take revenge on the world. Which, at this point, you're like, this could be an anti-hero, right? Like, we could be like a Deadpool situation. Like, he kind of got fucked over. Maybe he'll make some good out of this. He's not gonna.
Have some good comedy lines.
And
I
look,
feel like if he was, he wouldn't be on this show.
And here's the thing, too, is we talked about that the show's not only going to have serial killers from now on, so maybe we'll have some redemption arcs as episodes move on here. Maybe there will be some where we're like, oh my God, this guy's going to fucking murder everybody. And he'll be like William Abagnale, and he'll like work for the FBI in the end or something. I'm hoping to find something like that. There's got to be some positivity.
Frank Abagnale?
Frank,
Catch Me If You Can?
Frank Abagnale, I'm sorry. So at this age, everyone is close to him is saying he's gotten more violent. He's got family members saying he wants to take revenge on the world. He's able to escape the abuse from his father's friend, but only because the family moved to Trujillo in 1971. So that put him about 17 years old. Moves with the family. He's being constantly abused. It wasn't the one time with that pharmacist friend of his dad's. This is like whenever his pharmacist friend of his dad can get his hands on him, he does something. I don't know if it was always like tie him to a bed and melt wax and slice him with razor blades, but
takes a lot of time.
Yeah, but it was up to that. If that's the ceiling, it doesn't really matter what the floor is because that's
floor is a hello.
Yeah.
At that point,
and that's scary enough. So he never told his father about the abuse from the pharmacist friend, which part of me is like, would he have cared? And then part of me is like, might have just killed the guy. Like, he seems like the kind of dude that'd be like, what the fuck did you say? Either way, Luis thought that it would probably just cause more problems if he did, and he didn't think anybody would believe him anyway. Some say that this calls into question the validity of his claims of abuse by the pharmacist. Others say that the psychological issues are consistent with someone who would have experienced this type of abuse at around this age. So for like 3 years, from like 14 to 17, he's pretty consistently abused by this pharmacist. But as well as being abused, the pharmacist has also like introduced him to pornography. So we're talking about late 60s, early 70s Colombia. I imagine it's not just like.
Let me pull it up on my cell phone.
Yeah, I mean, even like I don't know what
like
the like go to the.
It doesn't really matter when and where it is. That
like it exists. It obviously exists, and people are probably aware of it. I just don't know how available it was.
The sketchiness of the situation is because somebody's showing you pornography. Like, have you ever had somebody show you pornography and it was cool? Or when somebody shows you porn, you're always just kind of like...
I've probably been shown pornography twice by someone like my age when I was like 13. It was like, dude, look what I got. And it was like,
right, but it's never...
Yeah, let's check it out, dude.
It's like, never like the basis of a good situation.
Yeah. I don't have many good memories. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So it doesn't really
keep it
matter
to yourself, motherfuckers.
It doesn't matter how you're showing somebody porn. You're still showing somebody pornography.
So, I specify that it's heterosexual pornography because he's shown a lot of proclivities towards young boys at this point. And so at this time he's like, oh, there's like, I guess I could do that too. Like it hadn't even occurred to him up to that point. So he's going to move once they get to Trujillo with a family friend. And while he's living with that family friend, he is going to be sexually abused by them. So he moves back with his family. After expressing his dislike for the pornography to the family friend and moving back, Luis takes the guy outside to, like, because the guy's like, oh, you don't like pornography, blah, blah, I'm going to expose you. Luis is like, well, we're going to fight. And they go outside, and the guy kicks the shit out of Luis, leaves him in the street bleeding.
Oh,
And-
I
squiggles.
don't want to laugh, but Jesus, dude.
Well,
Like,
wait. I am not done.
It gets
oh,
better.
no.
He would return a few minutes later, drag Luis inside, and decide this is a good time to rape the other girl.
Fuck.
Oh, it does not get better.
Yeah, I'm glad
I told you. I
I was
you.
wrong.
Yeah.
It was at this time that Luis got into a sexually aggressive state, constantly going after women much older than he. So he saw the tapes and was like, oh, that looks, yeah, I think I can fuck around with that too. Constantly rejected. So he spent his whole life being withdrawn, and then all of a sudden he sees heterosexual pornography and he's like, yeah, I'm going to pick up women. Like, that's trust me, I'm pretty good at this now. And so constantly rejected.
That would just make him an incel today.
Yes,
Like-
100%. 100% he
He
would
would
have a
just
neck
be on
beard
a
and a
message
fedora
board.
eating chicken tendies.
Mom, more tendies.
But it may have been a good thing that he was constantly rejected because he believed it was due in large part to his abuse, but he could not ejaculate, maintain an erection, and, you know, generally, besides his now severe mental issues, he's having physical, sexually performative issues, which is also a sign of someone who tends to have more aggressive needs, let's say. Sex just doesn't do it for
When
him.
it's vanilla, it's just not working for him.
It's not even like a banana split is working for him. He needs to go to like one of those specialty places where you can get like garlic ice cream.
Ugh.
So the physical issues were not the only thing that's plaguing Luis. In addition to this, his inability to perform sexually, it is said that he would begin to show the signs of a myriad of mental issues, including depression, paranoia, and psychosis. We say start to show,
Yeah.
but now he's an adult.
They say start to show because now people are paying attention.
Well, that, and you know, I think when a teenager is acting like a shithead, we're all pretty quick to say, oh, you know, that's what teenagers do. You know, that's what I did. Like, and now we're of an age too where we can look back a little bit and reflect and be like, oh, I was fucking stupid. I was real dumb, and
I
I
was a
thought I was
shithead.
mad smart. I thought I had the whole thing figured out. And now I'm looking back like, oof,
I did not.
it is a good thing I'm alive. That was a lot of whippets.
Steve-O.
It wasn't that bad, but I did
Whatever.
like a good Friday night. Let's not talk about it.
I remember wading through waist deep.
Get out of here. You're going to drag me to fucking rehab. I'll shit on myself. That was the saddest documentary of all time.
Most documentaries are fucking sad.
Yeah, that's true. I'm glad that they made money off that. So I say that because now, you know, he's at a point where we can't just chalk it up to being young and, you know, living
Not
through some
teenage
shit. He's-
angst.
What's that?
It's not teenage angst.
Yes, now you are an adult. And now you haven't changed. You haven't gotten better. You're not reflecting. You're not understanding. You don't feel bad like you did for the birds. So this is another argument for nature versus nurture, like Greg was talking about. Louis, was he always destined to be a monster from the beginning? Are these events? I've always been like yeah, probably both. Could be just one. Could be just the other in cases. Probably a combination of both in a lot of cases. You guys have any? Do you have a thought on it?
I think that the genetics are what lend to the situation like that.
Is it like a predisposition?
That's what.
Like,
That's
so
kind of.
I'm predisposed to diabetes. Well, I'm predisposed to be a killer.
Well,
or a sociopath.
To be in
you
a
know?
situation like that, though, like, some people are like, I don't understand why you just don't leave. Well, because you're not genetically programmed like that. Like, some people are genetically programmed to be in those situations, and if they're not, they create those situations, which sucks. But, I mean, also, I have no degree in any of this, and I'm just some asshole.
None of us do. None of us do.
But that's my guess, is that to create those situations, it has to be that is genetic, and then you're stuck in those situations and then
Like maybe a sociopath who isn't abused ends up as a good CEO, or
That's
ends
what I was
up
going to
as
say.
a-
You made
yeah.
the right analogy earlier.
right,
All
and
those guys are on the top for a reason. It's not
but
because they're
the rest of
amazing
them
people.
is the cycle of abuse.
Yeah. And I'm sure there are plenty that get abused and still do great things, and there are some that don't get abused and
Kill people.
So
Menendez
that's-
brothers.
aren't they on like a Mark Jackson
I have that
basketball
card.
Do you?
Yeah,
They're just in the background, sitting front row.
Really?
And it was after they killed their parents too.
yeah. It was
The
while they were
photograph.
like waiting on trial.
Oh, shit.
So, I mean, it's an interesting discussion. I only ask nature versus nurture because we've been gone for 3 years. Kind of.
Has
I mean,
anything changed in the science?
Well, not even in the science, and maybe just your opinion on it. You know, like you're allowed to change opinions. I think that we have a little bit of a culture of right now of that you can't do that. But like, dude, as I get older, my opinions vary vastly from what they did when even I was 27 years old. You know, like some of them go one way, some of them go another. But like, you know, you're allowed to have a different opinion, and that's why I guess I kind of asked. You guys were regulars then. I don't know that we really talked about it too much, but I think it's a good point. He's being rejected by the women, but like any type of predator, the weakest prey is the easiest prey. There's not a lot of like hobbled and injured gazelle-like humans walking around, so the best analogy would be the children. They are the most vulnerable, and the easiest to seek out for him. He seemed to be indiscriminately attacking whenever he could. It's about to get heavy. Okay? This guy's so fucked up. A little later, his attention would be turned mainly to prepubescent boys. So initially, his attacks are on
Just
children.
anybody smaller and weaker.
Yes. And then he's realizing the pedestry is more his style. Once in Trujillo, at a very young age, he had a nearly open access to alcohol from family members who didn't realize that it was going missing due to their being blind drunk every day too. He quickly became addicted to alcohol in his early teenage years. During these teen years, he would also be kicked out of his house twice, once in 1972. So we're retconning a little here, just to get you guys caught up on some of the stuff between the abuse that he was taking. 1972, for attempting to rape a 5-year-old boy. This would be the first time he acknowledged his love for little boys. Later in 1973, so he's now 19, he would attempt to rape a 6-year-old boy, and the boy was able to scream and alert nearby authorities, leading to Luis's arrest. So we're pretty early on here. His early teen years, so we're talking like 15 on, right about when that abuse is starting, that's when he's hitting the booze cabinet, and his parents are like, also, we talked about, heavily drinking. They're abusive, they're adulterous, so they're not at home sometimes. Sometimes neither of them are at home. So, I mean, we all probably, nipped the parents' whiskey a little bit. And yeah.
I told my mom about doing that.
So throughout that abuse, and now he's more in his young adult years, this is when he starts attacking 18, 19 years old. So he attempts to rape the 5-year-old boy. He attempts to rape the 6-year-old boy, is caught and arrested. Luis claimed to police that he, quote, only wanted to lightly molest the boy in response to the attempted rape charge.
Yes. Not yes like good, but like.
So he gets caught this time, which is, maybe good. Maybe this is where the hero arc starts. Hey, he never actually did it. He almost did it once, and he got caught, and he was like, fuck.
Yeah, but he's done it a bunch of other times.
Question number 5.
Does he do it again?
What specific reason was his father upset over Luis's arrest for sexual assault in which his son was caught? Was it A, that the victim was a child? B, that the victim was not a woman? C, the entire event was now a huge shame to the family, beyond anything that they had done before? Or D, that he hadn't gotten away with it? That his victim was a child, that his victim was not a woman, that he shamed his family, or that he had not gotten away with it? Paul says that he shamed the family. Bigfoot says that he hadn't gotten away with it.
My guess is that because it wasn't a woman.
That's what I was going to put, but then I just started thinking Game of Thrones and like the bell, shame. And I can't change my mind track once it's stuck.
Greg would continue his quest to be the best guess ever because that is indeed the correct answer. That his father was just like, why'd you try to rape a little boy? Why not try to rape a little girl? Like, he was mad that it wasn't a female. So this is one of the points where he's back. Listen, there's so many points where he's back and forth with his parents. I'm not going to mention it every time. So we'll kind of, if his father is brought into the story, I'll let you know if they were living together or not. But at this point he is. And his father kind of does the, like, beat the shit out of his 19-year-old son. Not like, how could you, bring shame to our family by raping a little boy? It's like, next time, make sure it doesn't have a dick. Like, that. Jesus. Yeah. That's kind of. Yeah.
That's where he's at.
That's where he's at. From this point forward, the fact that Luis seemed to have a lot of homosexual tendencies would be a huge point of contention for his father and would eventually lead to Luis being permanently kicked out of his home. From here, it would be an up and down battle for Luis as he would bounce around jobs, girlfriends, and constantly losing both due to his drinking, violent outbursts, and overall disagreeable disposition. Sounds a lot like father, like son. Some of us want to be the change. Like, oh man, my parents were this way, and I don't want that for my kids and my future generation. I'm gonna be different.
Yeah,
some of us are like,
you
oh,
see
my
it
parents.
more commonly with like spanking, where like I was spanked as a child, I'm not going to spank my children.
Or you see it at the exact opposite. It's like, where I took ass beatings, why can't they take an ass beating?
Well, yeah, and this seems like an extreme version of that same mindset.
Exactly that. That's exactly what I'm getting at. Is that it's just like, even later when he's interviewed, my dad did this to me, did this to me, did this to me, did this to me, and it's like, oh, really? What did you do? Oh, I did this, I did this, I did this. It's like, you knew it was wrong. You're telling us that you knew it was wrong and you knew it was awful, but instead of
changing,
instead of trying, but like Greg said too, as far as nature and nurture, his brain is just like, oh, change. What? That's not even. That wasn't even
call
something
him
I
Squiggle
thought
for
about.
nothing.
Yeah. Although he seems like an absolute wreck and insane person while intoxicated, he's known as pretty friendly and amicable when he's sober. I've known people like this where you're like, oh, this is like pretty solid dude, and then they get drunk. You're like, I fucking hate this person. This will unfortunately sound familiar to a lot of people.
I call that me in my 20s.
I wrote this in, dude. I says this will be unfortunately familiar
Greg in his 20s.
to a lot of people. Have an alcoholic in their life, red rum. The problem with Luis was you never knew which one you're going to get. The amicable, decent fellow or the violent rageaholic. Do you want to tell?
I just
do you want
can't
to tell the
live
red rum
without
story?
rageahol.
And that's quite Luis. And again, we probably all know someone like that or know of someone like that. And, if you're someone who drinks and you like often don't remember, and people hate you the next day, maybe just like, I don't know, check yourself.
But do they tell you that they don't like you?
Well, if everybody stops calling you and hanging out with you and liking you, you could just guess.
Nobody hangs out with me, guys.
Well, it's because your dogs don't like anyone.
That's fair.
Or your
Don't
kid.
Don't get a chihuahua.
I am his Satan father. So Luis is also there's like two things that are consistent with him: unpredictability and making friends with children. Like those
Two things that are consistent about
those are
him.
the two consistent
Inconsistency.
things. Yeah, consistently inconsistent, and love of children in many ways, specifically young boys. If it was children of his girlfriends or neighbors or just random kids from the neighborhood, he made friends with them all and was nothing but sweet to them, according to locals. Due to his way with women and alternatively his way with children, there was also a lot of small town gossip that would include Luis. So terrible with women, great with children. Lots of people talk about Luis. Bad gas travels fast in a small town.
It does.
And
saw that in a documentary.
Yeah, it's called Letterkenny.
It is.
So Luis is the subject of that. Okay, question number 6. We got fast here.
Ooh.
How would Luis cope with this new abuse that he's accepting from like
Poorly.
the town?
Poorly.
So they're calling this abuse?
He's now
Or he's calling this abuse?
he's calling this
Okay.
abuse. So he's saying that everybody talks poorly of me. I'm the town pariah. I have to deal with this problem.
As you should be.
Okay. Does he seek therapy? A. Does he turn to heroin? Does cocaine kill the pain and the ghosts in your blood? Or does
nice
he
callback.
just stay nice and consistent and drink his blues away? Therapy, heroin, cocaine, or drinking? I love that you guys want to see the upward trajectory.
Ooh.
I was told there was an upward trajectory
And
at
that
some
he
point.
will, so both of them said A, that he's going to seek therapy, and neither of them will score points.
He went with Hermione.
We were hopeful.
Yeah.
He
This
drank.
is
He
a
just kept on
defensive
drinking.
showdown on this show, which is weird because there's not really a way to play defense.
I'm good at defense.
We call it a pitcher's duel. So, yeah, I mean, he's been drinking pretty much, we can call him an alcoholic since about the age of 15. Now we're moving into like his early to mid-20s. Staying nice and consistent. He's got kids to befriend. Heroin gives you the nods. Therapy is expensive. So is cocaine, let's be honest. He just keeps drinking.
Drugs in general are expensive.
Yeah. That's what DARE stands for, right?
Is it?
Drugs are really
really
expensive.
yeah, drugs are really
My T-shirt
expensive.
said something different, I think.
You had the wrong shirt. Misprint. Sick.
Hey,
Uh,
eBay.
So he would enter into full adulthood with worsening symptoms of psychosis, paranoia, and the depression that we've talked about like 4 times already. It is said that for the majority of the 1970s, which we're currently in Luis's timeline, he would repeatedly sexually assault many children. As the spiral and a mental illness worsened, Luis would begin to insist on having a family. We're talking like Greg. Actually, I didn't make the connection putting this whole thing together. Luis kind of an incel. He's just like, oh, I need a wife, and she'll cook dinner for me, and I will provide for her and protect her.
She will make the tendies.
She will make
I
the
will eat the
tendies.
tendies.
I will make the Benjamins. We will live life, and she will give me 9 children.
She will be my lady.
What does he do for a living? Do we know?
At this
Gross
time,
shit, probably.
At this, he's like a totally and will continue to almost always be like an odd jobs guy.
Okay.
He's gonna get jobs doing whatever.
like the
he
little
can.
guy from James Bond.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yep. Totally. Just like
Ninja
that
hat,
guy.
never
When you're,
Crouching with Odd Job, Golden Gun.
yeah, that's totally cheating. I was more of like a dual RCP 90 kind of guy, but I
don't
never was
actually
odd
remember.
job.
I don't actually remember what I did.
RPG, son.
Hey, did
Proximity
you see
mines.
RCP 90? Sorry, not
Proximity
RPG.
mines.
Did you see they're re-releasing it on Xbox, remastering and re-releasing. There's not a date, but we'll get back
I'll
to
see
that.
you guys on there.
Get down.
Yeah. So again, guys, look. There are times, I swear to God, there's going to be a time here where he does some good. It's just not yet.
I don't believe him. Do you?
It's just not yet.
No, I'm no longer going to guess the good things.
Fair. So he continues trying to build his family. He did this through very few attempts to have sex with women because he kind of couldn't stand the thought of having sex with women, I think. Incredibly intoxicated, which didn't help. Earlier we talked about his sexual performance issues. Those of us who can perform sexually just fine oftentimes might find ourselves in trouble when we're blackout drunk, being able to handle that act. Luis wasn't
I
good
believe
at
the
it.
technical term is whiskey dick.
It is. I was trying to sound a little
Educated.
more elegant about it, but he had brandy balls, so he did not get anything done. So look, he's
love that so much.
he's struggling before and then getting blackout drunk, trying to create families with women who like don't really want to sleep with him, and he also does not want to sleep with them. So it's like that. Like you've seen the scene in movies where it's like, oh, the gay guy's got to pretend to be straight for a minute to like trick the girl so they can sneak behind. He's like got to kiss her. And he's like, oh,
He's gonna throw up.
Yeah, like I feel like that is very much what Luis is like at this time. He's like so disgusted
90s movies
by
were
women.
wild, bro.
Yeah. But at the same time, he just wants a family. And I think part of him does have that attitude we're talking about where he's like, I want a family because I had a fucked up family and I know I can have a good family. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you start it by being like, oh, I don't want to have sex with her at all. But one woman told of an experience with him where he could not maintain his erection. And so instead of being like, sorry, never really happens, but you want to cuddle? he goes on this long emotional rant about his family and how much he fucking hates them and wants to be away from them and how my limp dick is their fault, of course. So one
Fucking
woman
oof, man.
tells the story of it, which means to me that it probably happened a bunch of times. He just like can't get his dick hard and then spends time talking about why his family is the reason that he can't.
That's how you keep a woman.
Yeah.
That guy's not a problem solver.
But listen,
Just
sometimes
get good at oral sex.
sometimes, like when you want to get out of something, you just sort of like be bad at it. I believe they're calling it quiet quitting now.
Or willful ignorance.
Sure. Like you could do that in a relationship too. Be like, oh, it's just not getting hard. Like, I don't know. Like listen,
This is your
my
fault.
mom was a total bitch and I slept naked with my brothers.
Not even like, hey, punch me in the nuts until this thing works again. It's like, nah, this just isn't happening.
This is my mom's fault. Okay, so he's drinking heavily, suffering from extreme depression, and now we're throwing in like really heavy suicidal tendencies. He's like not able to
Not the
perform with
band.
women. Yeah, exactly. Not the band. He's not able to perform with women. He's kind of wondering like, what am I fucking doing here? Like, I got nothing. There is a last sliver of hope for Luis. Despite everything we've just heard, he's able to separate from his family. Clean break, which I think we could probably all agree is for
Good
the
thing.
best.
Yeah, probably
like-
a good thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
I
he
think
might have been.
We're all for that.
Yeah, I think he might have been just as much trouble for them as they were for him at
Yeah.
this point. But this is the time where he's finally gonna like make that break, get away from it. He did try to stay in touch with his oldest sister, but she did keep her distance because although she wasn't abused by him because she wasn't one of the brothers, she knew his.
She knew what he was.
She knew his rageahol issues. So despite this, he's like becoming more outward. He's becoming more confident. He's getting comfortable with people. He begins to attend and really take AA seriously. And he becomes a believer in the Pentecostal church. So look, what are we doing here? This is a decent upward trajectory, and it seems genuine. There are times where I've covered stories where I'm like, this motherfucker, he's like looking for someone to kill and rape in this church. That's what's happening. It truly seems like Luis is like, all right, I've been fucking up bad. I'm going to do AA. I'm going to get clean. And he is. He's staying clean. He's attending church.
I love to hear that.
But he's also, like, he's suffering from untreated mental illnesses. It is great to get off the alcohol, and I'm sure it helps those things. But if you have a true mental illness, chemical imbalance, whatever it may be, genetic disposition, treatment, or at least, we talked about, I'm so glad that you guys chose therapy on that last answer. Like, go talk to somebody even. Very helpful thing.
What year are we in now?
This is, we're like late 1979, I think.
Yeah, I don't think that's a problem with a lot of these guys that we cover is, I say we like I do anything.
Well,
But there's mental illness is just, it's not a thing. I mean, as a kid.
it's like just now, right?
yeah, like
getting
as
start-
we were kids, ADD or ADHD was just like, oh, your kid's just,
They don't pay attention in class? Yeah.
Yeah.
Give them Ritalin.
yeah.
Well,
sure.
and when our parents were
stricter.
kids,
More strict.
ADD was shit that got you like special classes.
Yeah.
You got lobotomized if your last name was Kennedy.
That was
not first
a
name.
little further back than our parents, I think. But yeah,
Was it, though? I mean, my parents, for sure.
yeah, my parents.
Probably not mine.
Maybe not.
Yeah, because this was my mom was born in the early '60s, so
When was the Kennedy daughter lobotomized? Well, we don't
I
know.
was in the '50s.
Oh, okay. It was that early.
Because she was a teenager.
Okay. All right.
Stay
fair,
tuned
fair.
for the next episode.
Yeah, I was
of
going to
Hella
say,
Greg.
you guys can research that one on your own, or maybe Greg will go into it
Yeah,
sometime.
just send me a message, or don't.
So he's going to, he is heading in an upward trajectory, but he is still suffering from the untreated mental illnesses. He moves to the town of Armenia and gets a fairly solid day job at a bakery. And at this time, he's got a job. He's going to church. He's going to AA. He moved away from his family. He's in a completely different town from where he was a standout, a pariah, known as the guy who hangs out with kids and can't get his dick up for women and cries about his family when he can't. Like,
Things are looking up.
yeah, like if you've got to remove yourself from a situation to be better, he was in one that maybe moving away would be a way to restart it. I'm not saying that anything he's done in his past is like okay or even redeemable, but if you're gonna try, that's probably the way to do it.
Yeah.
So he's got the job at the bakery. We're gonna start heading downhill again. He does not have the job very long after he gets into a violent altercation with some coworkers and is subsequently fired.
You call these quality buns? Because I don't call them quality buns.
I thought you were gonna be like, he's jacking off in the dough.
I went
well,
that wild.
I'm
I'm
not
going to
saying-
kick your donut hole, bud.
I'm not saying that he wasn't, because I cannot find what the cause of this, like, it said extremely violent altercation. And many places that talk about this, like, there was, like, it was gnarly. Like, this bakery had blood on the walls and stuff from the fight they had.
Sounds like a scene from, like, John Wick.
Maybe it was.
That's a
But they were
stupid
just,
movie.
like, all throwing dough. We had a scene like that with Reef Hangers once.
It's good times.
So he gets into the violent altercation. He gets fired. So straight down, right?
Back down.
Question number 7. In what way did he react to this event? Did he A,
Poorly.
cut his losses and move on? Like, look, I just almost got it restarted in this city. I'm going to go to another one, try it again. Does he B, go back and stab 2 of his coworkers? C, attempt suicide? Or D, say fuck it and move back home?
Let's get a score on the board here, too.
Hey.
I'm just saying. I'm
No.
Greg wants some points.
I'm not
No.
even
Greg
playing,
wants
and
some
I have as many points as you guys do.
So in what way did he react? Bigfoot says B, he went back and stabbed 2 coworkers. Paul says he moves back home. Luis would attempt suicide. And
We're not
obviously,
good at this.
I mean,
and obviously fail.
I was good at
he's
this
not
game
good
once.
he seems to fail at a lot of things.
Yeah. So after his failed suicide attempt, he finally seeks some type of psychiatric help. Which, again, we here recommend. He would check into the San Juan de Dios Hospital and would be, could I have said that any wider? And he would be there through the end of 1979 and throughout all of early 1980. So he spends like a significant chunk, I think it's like 7 months in this hospital. His stay in the hospital is highlighted by the fact that he continued to tell staff that he just wanted to be dead due to his feelings of inadequacy and worthlessness. He was treated primarily for depression despite showing clear signs of psychosis and even bulimia. He was not truthful with doctors and left out his pedophilic tendencies and his impotence with female partners. So, like, he goes to get the help. All right.
That's what I'm saying. He's like, I want you to let me continue to live. Like, I don't want to do that, but I still want to do this.
This is like how I think of it. Really quick, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Your car has got a vibration when you're on the freeway. Okay? It's also got a weird noise every time you start it. Yeah, I mean, it runs, but it still does that. Also, like, you know, I'm not getting very good fuel mileage. You take it to the mechanic, right? Yeah. Mechanic's like, what's wrong with you? Like, I don't know. Put air in all 4 tires and...
Change the oil.
Yeah, probably
fine.
good. And you know what I mean? Like, that's what's happening. He's like, he's seeking the help, but he's not telling him anything that he feels wrong with himself. Like, that's the problem, right? Is like,
Right.
if you're seeking the help, like, you gotta open up. It doesn't have to be all at once, but you have to be able to understand what you've already done for yourself. You've already taken the step. You're there. You're in the building. You've spent a couple months there. Why hide
Because
arguably
big
your
things.
biggest issues.
Because, and in my opinion, it's because he's there getting help for certain things, for the stuff they know about. So he'll talk.
So he's
and
there
he'll
for the
get help.
depression. He's there for anxiety.
He'll get help for the stuff that they know about, and if he talks about this other stuff, then it stops being a voluntary commitment. It stops being anything where he can
Get out.
Yeah, it becomes now he's a danger to other people, and now, like, because you know how, if you say certain things, doctors have to report it. And
Yeah, right. If you're a harm to yourself or others.
right. So, like, if he's talking about, I've got these tendencies, they're not going to let him go when he wants to be let go.
It's true. Like, I guess
So,
for me, it's like,
he
why go
hides-
in if you're just trying to get out as fast as you can?
because he wants somebody to tell him that he's all right, so he has that.
It's true.
It's for the same
It's not
reason
bad.
people get college degrees from those places that aren't real colleges, like the guy that duped Peggy Hill.
Yeah,
Like-
true.
You know, those exist for a reason because people keep giving them money.
We have got some timely references today, I must say.
Hey, you know what? If King of the Hill comes out before this does, it's a timely reference.
That's true. When is it supposed to come out? No, we don't talk about that. I'll look it up. Okay, so after leaving the facility, he's going to rejoin AA, and it seems that again he's going to at least try to continue his treatment for a while. Unfortunately, he's also going to be spotted on multiple occasions at Valencia Park, which is known heavily for its rampant child prostitution. Around this time, Luis would get a job at a nearby grocery store. He's also dating a woman named Claudia and claims that this is the first time he's ever enjoyed a woman's company. And this seemed to be yet another positive move in the life of Luis. But there was darkness taking place.
Found himself some love.
His grocery
You know?
store job had 2-hour lunch breaks twice a week. During these 4 free hours a week, he would go to one of the few near towns, one of them being Quimbaya and Calarca. He would bind and rape many children.
Oh.
So he's just like, oh, I got 2 hours twice a week. Only takes 25 minutes to get there, 25 minutes to bind and rape, 25 minutes to get back, and I can get a sandwich. Like that's literally like where his...
like, how do you
gross.
just look somebody in the face after that? Like, you just did
Go
this
back to
awful
bagging
shit, and then you
groceries.
go back to work, and somebody's like, "Hey, how are you?" And you're like, "Good." They're like, "How's your day?"
Did you want the milk in a bag or...
Yeah, like, how do you just
Well, that's
that?
the thing is
fucking
when...
psychopath? Man.
Just fucking bury him in the Marinara Trench. That's the thing, though, is this is how we know you're not a psychopath. Is you're like, oh, the people. It's not in his. He's not thinking about them. He's not thinking. He's just like, oh, I did what I did, and my dick feels good now. So I'm gonna head back, and I'm gonna fill the pears, and I'm gonna do like a little pyramid with him today. I think.
Yeah, that's just so weird to me that it's no different than like knocking one out at lunch.
Yes, that's like to him. I feel like that's exactly what it is. It's like 2 hours. The sweat will have dried. I could just change my shirt.
Fucking hate him.
Yeah, well, I think you are okay, and that is a good opinion to have at this point.
Are there any of these 105 other people that you liked?
Say it. What?
Maybe
He said he hated them.
Oh.
Maybe
this is a
Charles-
general
Yeah, I
theme
see.
of the show.
What'd you say? Maybe Charles Manson.
maybe Charles Manson.
Great
Yeah.
like he's going.
That Russian dude was funny, at least.
but
I
not
don't remember his name.
like I don't vibe with his racist shit. But like dune buggies in the desert.
Yeah, I always when people ask me my favorite serial killer, I always say I don't fucking have one, but that song Danny Rolling wrote was pretty
Yeah.
dope.
Shit was fire.
Mystery Rider is a good song, dude. Sorry. So his grocery store job has the break, allows him time to, bind and rape children. During this entire time, he's also not engaging with sex. He's not engaging in sex with Claudia at all. So as Claudia, how do you not question like, hey, this guy like we live together, he pays some of the bills, but like we don't ever.
Do you think it might have something to do with him just being like a gross dude overall, though? And she's just like, cool.
Yeah, I was
He's
wondering
like-
what he looks like.
Well, I don't even. I'll put a picture.
He's not handsome.
right here.
He's not handsome.
But if he's not just, I'm not talking physically, like, just he's like a gross negative person to be around, so she's just like, cool, man, he's not bothering me for sex.
Well, very Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of shit. It sounds like, right? You get like sweet, amicable, sober Luis, or you get the dude who, I like your theory. It's not
Yeah,
wrong.
I
It's like,
just-
fuck, he's paying half the bills. He doesn't ask me to fuck. He's kind of gross. I got to share a bed with him.
yeah, it's like, and like maybe
I
I
can live with this.
and if maybe she was getting hers somewhere else, I'm not saying she was, but like,
Sure,
the
sure.
We
potential's
don't know
always
she
there.
wasn't.
But the potential's always there when she's like, who cares? He's not bothering me. Like, I got mine.
But remember, like he does say, like I didn't like hanging out with other women. I didn't like their company, and this is the first time he's ever like,
That's
I
true.
like being around her. Like this is truly the one that got away for him, I think. But let's start another downward spiral, huh? He and,
Sure,
Cla-
fuck it.
he and
Yeah,
Claudia,
we've been doing too good up to this point.
Yeah.
he
you
and
know?
Claudia are gonna break up, guys.
Aw.
This is gonna be a breakup here.
Love.
Question number 8: for what reason did the two break up? Is it A, she found out about his past and what he's currently doing?
Ooh.
B, he didn't make enough money to keep up with her spending? C, his impotence? Or D, he lost interest in her? She found out about his past, which, let's be frank,
Can I still be
is,
Greg?
yeah. It's he didn't make enough money. Impotence. No interest. Lost interest. Yeah, you guys, same answer all the way through, huh?
Yeah.
Knuckles.
You
All
fucking
right,
assholes
Greg,
said you
get
were
ready
gonna
to
do
put
that.
some points on the board when these guys finally get an answer right, because that is not one. She did not like the fact that he did not make enough money to keep up with her spending. Because
2 shifts a week at a grocer.
No, those
was
were
not
his 2 breaks. He was full time. He just had like
Oh.
two days a week where instead of getting like a half an hour for lunch, he got 2 hours. So he worked a double, but they were 2 part time. Whatever.
Totes.
So for her, he saw it as, I like this woman. I like being around her. I like having a place to live. I'll pay the bills. Her, it was like, oh, give me money, give me money, give me money. Oh, you don't make enough. Kick rocks, because
Okay,
you're
bye.
hella gross, like Hella Greg said. And hella gross is Hella Greg's cousin, so it's cool we can say that.
If you've met
and
him,
now
you
you're not
know.
making enough money for me to see through that. We're gonna have to call this quits here.
Quit
Quit.
it. I see
So-
you trying too. You quit it too.
So instead of seeing this as a learning experience, he is more like a recently divorced man. He's like, oh, I'm free. I'm fucking free. So at this time,
Time to get
Was that
weird.
song?
I mean, he's already been getting weird. He's going to continue to molest and torture children.
I
But-
forgot that's what getting weird is for him. God
Yeah,
damn it.
but now you're not wrong, Greg, because he's going to get weirder. And he's going to begin detailing in great detail in a small notebook each of his assaults, including writing the name and what he had done to the children.
That's not good.
It was said that he would also pray over the names of the children while pacing his room naked and beating his chest, sometimes to bleeding. Flogging, is that what that's called? Flogging?
Flagellation.
Flagellation, is that what it is?
But like
But I have a question for Bigfoot, too, because it talks about...
specifically for him.
Well, it is, because it's about a specific... he did this while reading the Book of Psalms. Does that make any sense? Like, he was looking for answers to his...
there
why
anything
he...
specific in
Explanations for why he molests and tortures youth. It is said that he spends most of the time looking for his answers in the Book of Psalms. Does that... That's what I was going to say. Does it, like, have any direct connection? Or any, like...
Not off the top of my head.
Okay, yeah. That's what I was just wondering. Is it like, oh yeah, that might be a place you look for, but
I mean, he's not. If we go back to Squiggles, he's not that bright of a guy.
It is true.
Psalms is not a difficult book to read or understand since it's all songs. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So maybe that's why.
I see.
People can interpret what they want from a lot of things.
He's like, this says, oh God, I love you. So I
Interpret
call the
this.
children God, and I love them ipso facto. So, dude, it's bad. He's fucking detailing it. He's pacing
Which
around his
seems so
room,
dumb to
slapping
me.
his chest with a
You remember
cat at
that-
9 tails.
That scene in The Simpsons when the bullies were cruising by on that stolen like security cart.
To like 3-wheeled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Yo, videotaping our crime spree is the best idea we've ever had." Like, that's what this feels like. Why would you do some dumb shit like that?
Yeah, it's not as if it's
I mean,
ever going
I'm
to
not.
catch up.
I
to
don't
him.
want this guy to like, I don't want to try and give him ideas. Obviously, it doesn't really matter now, but that's just a dumb fucking way to go about it. And he's a dumb fucking idiot.
There's a lot of people that
I
have
was
been
also gonna
covered on here that like document in various ways, whether it's video or writing it down or
Yeah.
drawing pictures.
I always see like diary of this person, the diary of Hitler, the diary of Roosevelt, the diary of somebody. Like, you fucking who? I haven't kept a diary. I tried to keep a diary one time, and I was like, man, this
Not
sucks.
since my Zanga page.
Dang.
Yo, I got a thing about that to tell you.
Okay, now or torturing youths, far more rapidly and consistently than he was before.
Now that he's broken up.
Right. Now that he's broken up, exactly. He's beating himself to bleeding while reading the Book of Psalms for answers to why he molests and tortures youth.
And
He
keeping
begins
the
to have
name of-
terrible nightmares about what he's done to children.
Good.
It would wake him and he would feel terrible. However, following that, he would remember the pleasure he got out of the children's pain.
Bad.
And it would make him hunger for another attack. So
I just fucking hate this guy.
this is a guy who has zero instincts, right? Like he wakes up having terrible nightmares and guilt about what he's done to children. And then his dick starts getting a little hard. And he's like, oh, well, wait a second, though.
Maybe I do it again.
Kind of did like it. And then he's like,
Nah.
yeah, you know what? I'm going to head out right now. I'm going to get my boots. So,
Get my
like, right, like, I think generally people have a terrible dream, they describe it as, and be like, oh my God, I'm never fucking doing that again. What have I done with my fucking life, man? He's like,
Fucking hate it.
I got to get back out there, baby.
Yeah, that's rough.
Dude,
Yeah.
by the end, the numbers, dude. The numbers. I don't even touch when we finish numbers of children he molested. We're just going to talk about the ones he killed. That's the it's so around this time he found himself getting into more unique interests such as esoteric study, tarot readings, and Satanism. So he's gone from the Pentecostal church to Satanism. It's like pretty much the same. Tarot readings and esoteric. So he begins visiting psychics, tarot readers, and palm readers before he said that he realized they were just as clueless as he was when it came to the occult.
What kind of Satanism was it? Because I feel like it's probably not the really cool, like, everybody just be cool and be yourself Satanism. I think he was into that whole, like, gotta stab somebody to,
Well,
like,
I'll tell you what, Greg. He didn't particularly enjoy the Satanic Bible that I know of. There was one piece of literature that he found, fell in love with, and tried to follow to a T. That piece of literature, Mein Kampf.
I almost said that. That
Did
should have been
you?
a question.
Yeah.
I would have got points.
Luis becomes
points
incredibly
on the board,
infatuated
Greg.
with Hitler, citing
No.
similarities in their early lives. He's on record as stating that he, quote, liked the concentration camp idea. Right about this time, Luis is going to be placed under psychiatric care again for 33 days. He would go February 28th of 1984 and be quickly prescribed antipsychotic drugs and referred to a psychotherapist for his depression. Upon his approval to be released, Luis would go to Perea, where he would bind, molest, and torture 2 children. The day he was released. Not like, oh, I got an apartment, got set up, and then I got the urge. No. Like,
Went
got
straight to
released, squiggled on out of there, did his damn thing.
See what you did there.
See, don't call him Squiggle. I mean,
I mean,
call
it's
him
not meant
Squiggle.
as a term of endearment.
but not in that.
All right, don't use it as a verb. Good.
Squigs be squigging.
It is at this point that old fuckface Garavito, I actually put that in the script too, just so you guys know, so we
Good.
got it in there. That old fuckface Garavito estimates that he was likely now molested approximately 100 children.
Jesus.
The documentary I watched talked about at the time in Colombia, there's not almost at all an adult homeless population, but there is a huge, rampant homeless children population.
Just Lord of the Flies out there.
Where better to be for Luis Garavito than a place where there is a large, rampant homeless children population. Yeah, I guess it was really popular for, you could work for the government and you could, like as a child, you could go and you can get lottery tickets and you could sell them out on the street. You brought them back, you gave the money, you got exchanged out for your pay of the day, gave the rest of the tickets back. So that was like a really popular thing for the homeless kids to do to make their way. They got paid nothing
That
to do
sounds.
it. But
That actually sounds kind of dope.
yeah, enough to, it was
Pay for
kind of
some bread.
like, you go to like Workforce Now or whatever, and they're like,
Yeah,
hey,
but
the
it's
first
like
25 guys here today, we got a job for today. It was like
Uber
that.
lottery. That's kind of.
Yeah, you're just like handing out.
Kinda
I don't think they're like
groundbreaking.
scratchers. I think they're like, lottery tickets or
Yeah.
whatever. But, so yeah. That was, it was kid in a candy shop for him. Like he literally, it was open water. Question number 9. In addition to Hitler and the Nazis, of course, why would not? Luis began to become obsessed with another group of pieces of shit. What group are they? Is it A, spree killers, B, serial killers, C, child killers, or D, religious zealots? I mean, these could all be right. Spree killers.
But are they?
Serial killers, child killers, or religious zealots.
I like that you're like, religious zealots, pieces of shit.
Yeah, well, yes.
No, it's fine. I'm okay
Being
with
religious
that.
doesn't make you a piece of shit. Being a piece of shit at religious.
That's not spelled right.
That's okay. I get what you're saying. Paul says, R. Shashilat.
It's spelled poorly.
Sorry, what'd you say, Bigfoot? C. Child killer. So child killers, religious zealots. Put him on the board, Greg, for 0 because he got infatuated with spree
This
killers.
guy's a fucker.
Real into spree killers. Yes, to add to our boy Luis's interest of Nazis diddling children, he also becomes quite enamored with spree Colombian killer Campo Elias. In December of 1986, Elias killed 29 people and wounded 12 more in an upscale restaurant before being killed by police. Luis envied 2 things about Elias. One was the attention that the story got from the media, from the people in the... He's literally in a bar, hears about this story, and everybody in the bar is like, oh, fuck. Starts paying heavy attention to it. And he's like, oh.
That's all I gotta do.
Word? Yeah, exactly.
I
Like,
would have done this years ago.
dude, that's like exactly how his mind is working. He's like,
no such thing as bad press, right?
wait a second. Everybody in the bar went. Like, all you had to do is just like shoot 26 people? Sorry, he shot 41 people. Only 29 of them died. Yeah, exactly. So he's stoked on the attention when the story break. The other reason was that Luis imagined that to be quite a lovely way to go out. He would start his spree killing with his father, then kill everyone in his family, take out as many people with him as he could before finally killing himself or being killed by police. Luis considered this, quote, an ideal way to die.
Flame of glory.
Yeah, I mean suicide by cop or suicide
So,
after
yeah, I was
killing
gonna say,
everybody you hate. That's
It
like
sounds
essentially-
like one of those like warriors death kind of like somebody who's got that.
At this time, he's bouncing in and out of psychiatric care with the regularity of Fago at an ICP concert. Around this time, Luis gets another girlfriend named Graciela Zabaleta. I only say that because we here in Fresno have a local news anchor who she'll be like, good evening and welcome to the Action 24 News. I'm Graciela Moreno, and this is the news. And I love it, dude. It's my favorite
Every
thing in
time.
the world. It's like, fucking pronounce that name. Luis introduced himself to Graciela and almost immediately suggested that she become his permanent partner. Charmed by his confidence, she allowed Luis to live with her in exchange for him buying food and paying the bills. Although he showered his new family in love and seemed to even be a fairly good father figure to Graciela's teenage son, there was still worry from Graciela herself about Luis's acquaintances. At one point, 2 of his acquaintances notice that he is spending an inordinate amount of time with young men. They start to spread the word around, but no one brings it up to Luis. So now we're at that point, too, where like, did they tell him about it? It's like now they just think he's a weird guy, and no one's being like, hey, what the fuck is up with you and the kids? They're just
Spreading it around the town.
spreading.
If
yeah.
you see something, say something.
So Graciela at this time isn't really aware of his pedophilic predilection, but she has big concerns
Wordplay?
with his
Really?
alcoholism. Hey,
No, that's fine.
I'm trying to fucking put on a show here, Greg.
That's fine.
Nearly all of this time, Luis is documenting his crimes in the notebooks with great detail and leaving the notebooks at several women's houses. So he's like hooking up with a woman, being like, hey, could I store this here or whatever? And he's like,
Don't read it.
Spreading them around. I think he's such a dumb fucking idiot that they're not even like, that's not even in there. Like, whatever, leave the paper here, you fucking asshole.
Just gonna
and
leave it here on
already.
the table.
Yeah, you couldn't even
open.
keep your dick hard for a night. Get the fuck out.
Sick burn.
Between the years of 1980 and 1992, Luis has documented most of his crimes, and this is before he has killed anyone, as far as we know. With these accounts, we get some disturbing info. Somebody's getting points here. Question number 10.
Somebody
Watch-
fucking has to.
watch.
What
this.
is the number of rape and torture victims that Luis has victimized and documented at this point? The closest to the answer will get 250 points. If you nail it, you get 1,000. This is Luis's notebooks. They were all collected at the end. So this is, I forgot that I put this question here because I said we didn't talk about just but this is before he has killed anybody.
This is just what he has written down
What
in
he
his
has
book.
written down.
The number of victims he has written down in his book.
Paul says 91. Bigfoot says 213. And the points will be going to Bigfoot.
Oh.
Because at this time, Luis has documented a minimum of 200 children that he has either bound, molested, raped, or tortured.
Jeez.
This is during a time of 12 years. during which he spent approximately 5 years under psychiatric care. Inpatient. So over a 12-year span, of which 5, he was not able to attack anybody. He has molested, tortured, raped 200 children in 7 years' time.
That's extreme. I'm going to say that. That's a lot. Yeah. Seems like he goes out of his way to do this.
Yeah.
I don't even think I've played 200 video games in 7 years' time.
Eating 200,
200 of
barbecue
anything, really.
burgers.
Yeah.
Outside of like energy drinks.
So that's another 250 for Bigfoot. He's at 500 points. Paul at 250. But you know what I like to say, Paul?
There's still time.
Plenty of time. Yeah. It is at this point that Luis has documented a minimum of 200 children. This is during the 12 years. He has such a prevalent criminal that the crime statistics in any area that he lived in for sexual attacks on minors spiked during his times of residency.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah. He's had
Literally
200.
such a prevalent
Yeah.
child molester that you can literally say, okay, Luis from 1982 to 1985 lived in this town. Look at the crime statistics, and from 82 to 85, they will be spiked. Not the crime statistics, the sexual crimes against children statistics.
Good Lord.
Isn't that fucking insane? Like, talking about literally moving the needle.
Yeah.
The motherfucker is molesting so many children that you can find him by using 2 charts, where he lived and the molestation.
Probably don't even need the where did he live. Just look at the charts.
Yeah,
Be
it's
like,
true.
he traveled through
Unbelievable.
this region in 19 something or other.
Like, they spiked. In addition to the crimes, there were several attempts at his own life, again, which he would always fail. Are you just really not good at it, or are you just looking for I don't know, at this point. But he's under psychiatric care for almost half the time over this period that we're talking right here. Nearly, like 40% of the time, he is in inpatient psychiatric care. Sometime in the summer of 1992, he would seek help with some of the questions he has in life. He wants some answers, so naturally, he's gone to, therapists, didn't get the answers he wanted. He's gone to card readers, palm readers.
Hospitals.
Doesn't get the answers.
Everybody's just being like, hey, man, change your life. You fucking suck.
So
Do
here's where
something
he
different.
goes.
And he's like, I
No.
just don't like that answer.
During the session of the Ouija board, Luis would claim to enter a state of psychosis that allowed him to communicate with the devil. And the devil told him, quote,
Leave me alone.
kill with killing, man, things will come.
Kill John Lennon.
So
Probably-
with killing man, things will come.
It's probably lost in
Kill.
translation.
Kill with killing man, things will come. So he gets on a Ouija board. This is what the devil tells him. Things will come. If you kill them, they will come.
That's
See,
not how the
Ouija
movie
boards
goes.
only work if you believe in them.
I think the devil said, if you kill them, you will come.
You know what?
I was like,
See,
See?
even Luis misheard this. So less than 1 month later, he would attempt his first murder.
How old is he now?
So this is in 1992. He is
1992.
Yeah, we've moved. Like
Yeah, he's a late bloomer.
Between 80 and 92 is like that's 200 molestation. So in 1992,
Late
that's going to make him 38 years old.
Holy hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did this late.
Yeah, he's a late bloomer.
Well, a lot of
I mean,
time
Right,
doing
but I mean,
heinous acts. But yes, you are correct. Yes,
usually
that's
they start their killings in their
like early 20s. Is,
before their impulse centers are really like
Yep.
solidified.
Yep. He was attacking children at that
Right,
time for
right.
sure the entire time.
Yeah, no, and that's still awful.
And
Still a piece of
and
shit.
so when we gave that number of 200, give or take, that was what he documented. Remember, we had all of those attacks during the park, during his lunch breaks. None of those were documented. He didn't write any of those down. Those were all ones he did prior to documentation. So this number could be 300. It could be 400. It could be
it's an excessive amount.
yes. So at this time, he attempts to lure a young boy into a wooded lot with the intention of raping and killing him on October 1st, 1992. He was caught by police, taken to the station, and got the shit beaten out of him by them. They took his money, jewelry, and made him bleed profusely from the face and head after multiple pistol whips. Then they let him go.
seems like they should have gone just a little bit further.
They got what they wanted, though. They didn't care about the kid. They were like,
where
"Oh,
else would you like
No,
them
no,
to
but I'm
make
just
him?
saying,
bleed
Yeah,
from?
yeah. A couple more pistol whips. Maybe
Yeah.
just cave it in."
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you say, Greg?
Well, he asked where they should have taken it further. I
Yeah.
said where else would you like him to bleed from?
Yeah, just more from the head. So, not discouraged by this, he would make his next attempt only 3 days later, and this time he would succeed in his first murder. He would commit his first murder on a boy named Juan Carlos on October 4th, 1992. According to Garavito, the reflection of the moonlight had invoked, quote, a strange force within him, reminding him of all of his childhood, which compelled him to murder upon entering a state of rage. It's like a fucking werewolf.
Yeah.
He began to follow the child, buying synthetic rope and a butcher knife on the way. So, like, he's literally following this kid, dips into a store, buys some nylon rope and a knife while following the kid.
He's just lucky that the kid stopped at a place that sold those things.
Yeah. So he follows him. No. Like the kid keeps walking. He dips in, buys the stuff, relocates the kid, continues to follow him.
I was
like,
thinking they were driving.
Oh no. Yeah, they're on foot. Sorry, I could have been more clear there for sure. So cool. Yes, that's exactly right. So the boy leaves the crowded area in Jamundi with Garavito to go to an area near the local railroad, where he was later found with his front teeth knocked out, severe cuts to his rectum and throat, and his genitals severed. Waking upon sunrise, Garavito claims to have began sobbing as he noted the bloodstains of Carlos on his clothes. So it's every time we hear this, right? He does something and he wakes up. Oh, what did I do, man?
But then he realizes he enjoys it.
Good. So at this time, wherever he's staying, I think this is in what's the town called? Jamundi, whatever. He's known locally as Goofy, so he gets another name. He's a Goofy because this is the way he is, always so friendly with the children and always has little gifts for them, and he's joking with them. So he's not really like seen as an animal where he's currently staying. Although the statistics are peaking, he's not the person of interest in that.
I'll be honest too. Goofy seems like kind of a lateral move from Squidward.
Yeah, but I think as well. we talk about like connections, and I think some of us might know like someone who was like this in our neighborhood, who was like that super nice dude who, and looking back you're like, fuck, was he trying to lure us?
He was trying to diddle me.
Or are you just like, he was just a hella nice dude, my parents called him Goofy,
I just realized we used to backyard wrestle with a dude in his like mid-20s when I was in like 5th grade.
Begins as well as taking the notes, the notebooks. He's keeping things that remind him of his crimes now. He's taking little souvenirs.
So he doesn't feel that bad.
But it's like that. Well, he feels bad after, not during. So he's taking his souvenirs and then waking up and feeling bad about them. But they remind him, so then he gets hard again, rolls back out. But it's not just like, I took an earring. He's keeping ticket stubs, receipts, a.k.a. evidence, right? He's keeping a paper trail of all of his crimes. The one thing he kept that was far more extreme for quite some time was amputated toes of his victims, until he began to suspect that cadaver dogs might sniff this out and discover him due to them being hidden with his notebooks in bags. So he's got like kid toes in bags in notebooks stashed around with different women he's got on the good side of. Yeah. On October 10th, 1992, he kills again. He would make a trip to Trujillo in order to see his one family member that he still talks to, his oldest sister. He says that he attempts to stop his attraction and urges by drinking brandy. So brandy balls, kick in, please. He would have a freak out on the train and begin breaking things. Later, he would say this is because a male child passed by and it sent him into a rage. So he's literally on the train. Breaking shit, all brandy balled out.
That's some pretty victim blamey shit.
Yeah, and then he's like, a little boy walked by.
Did you see him?
How
he
am I
didn't even look
supposed
at
to
me.
control myself when a little boy walks by?
That was a creepy voice.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Yeah,
0 out of 10.
Can we edit that out?
We
would
will.
not do again. No, come on, man. It's called production value, Craig.
the
And if
edge.
you want me to brandy balls you, you'll keep saying you're gonna edit my shit out. I hate it so much.
Hey. Nice.
Nice. So, yeah, he's like, I'll drink brandy to stop my attraction to boys. Oh, there's a boy. And starts breaking things.
He's all drunk and unreasonable.
Yeah, so he gets off the train and murders a 12-year-old boy on the way to his sister's. Literally on the way over, murders a boy. Over the next few days, he'd begin a killing spree of impoverished young males. He would lure 8 boys aged between 9 and 11 from a school nearby to wooded areas and slaughter them. This is when he began collecting severed toes. He would go on to murder 4 identified boys and 3 unidentified boys in southeast Bogota before murdering 2 more unidentified children in the Misen neighborhood. He then traveled back to Tallulah and murdered more children, and then an undetermined amount, and ending his spree with the kill of a 13-year-old boy named Mauricio. He would go quiet on the murder front for a while, it would seem, but in early 1994, Luis would kill a 12-year-old boy who had fallen asleep on the bus, and he became obsessed with him, luring the young boy out to a secluded ravine that would end up being a mass grave. Luis's mass grave. He's got to hide these bodies somewhere. So the mass grave, the smell coming from the mass grave overwhelmed Luis, and it distracted him enough for the 12-year-old to get the knife and attack Luis. Luis gets his hands up, and all of the tendons in his hands are severed.
Ooh.
Good.
He would then be able to overpower the 12-year-old boy despite the hand injury and kill him. On February 4th, 1994, he lures a 13-year-old boy named Jaime to a sugarcane field. This was after Luis was kicked out of a bar for complaining about the food obnoxiously. So he gets kicked out of a bar, sees this boy, lures him to a sugarcane field. Seemingly normal night until he sees a crucifix and claimed that it sent him into a rage. So, like, what doesn't trigger this guy?
Yeah, this guy
Literally
is just
everything.
an opportunist.
Yeah.
And a fucking narcissist.
100%.
With impulse control issues.
So he would kill the boy and head back to his hotel room where he would pray for forgiveness while chanting scripture in his hotel room until the sun came up.
Imagine being next door to that.
Psalm specifically. That's like his go-to. I should have looked up what it is, but I don't care enough.
Imagine being next door to that, though.
Yeah, just someone recite, and like you said, their songs. So he's like over there singing
them out.
one song all night.
What was it?
The 57th Psalm. So he would take a break for a few days, and on January 12th, 1997, he would murder an 8-year-old boy before murdering an additional 2 youths during this period. So he's going on these, like, runs. Killing 8, killing 2, killing 12, killing... he would beg Meg Luce, who is... Luz Marie, who is his new, like, mainstay of woman that he's, like, not really sleeping with, but, like, being with. She was wary of his alcoholism but felt bad for him, so she allowed him to stay with her. Garavito would eventually move out as he gained employment and got a roommate, but while working, he took a very hard fall in August of 1996 that would result in a broken leg and having to wear a cast, neck brace, and use crutches. Luz Marie felt bad for him and brought him in once more. He was working and would begin to help out Luz Marie and her family, as it was always a dream of his, again, to have a family. He paid the bills, he even bought them a TV. So, like... it's like finally happening for him. It's weird circumstances for sure, but like he's like her kids like him. He bought him a TV. He's supporting. He's like getting his family.
This guy has a lot of energy.
Then he would get into a physical altercation with Luz Marie's son, and at that time, Luz would kick him out. This would
57 Psalms metal as fuck, dude.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to post a picture or do you want to read it?
I'm not going to read it. I'll just give
Okay.
you the highlights.
Okay.
There's a tongue that's a sword. There's some fucking spears and arrows. There's lions.
Okay.
There's a pit of souls.
Perhaps if it's possible, we'll throw it up on the screen or something.
Yeah.
If not, just look it up, guys. Greg just did it in 10 seconds. You can do it too.
Yeah, it's fucking metal. Like if it had a cool guitar solo, it would probably
Let's
shred.
make it happen, dude. Let's cover the 57th Psalm. He would then get into physical altercation with his son. He gets kicked out. He would work out until around Christmas time when Luz Marie was visited by some of her friends that happened to be homosexual. So he's like, he's away, he's fine, but he's like, wait, she's hanging out with gays? I don't think so. Like, he's not with her, he's not living with her, he's not even near her anymore, and is also
Possessive.
mostly homosexual himself. But he's like, fuck no, you aren't going to be friends with these people.
No,
but
sir, I don't like it.
we're now at the point where he's gone full circle and become his dad.
Yeah.
Because this is what his dad kicked his ass for, what he was so mad about. Luis made a big deal of this, calling her up and calling any offensive thing he could think of. She pretty much told him to fuck off, at which point he would show up to her house and choke her near the point of passing out. She and her family would then leave for several hours, hiding at a friend's nearby because she was afraid that he would come back. When they arrived back, Luis was gone, but he had left a note apologizing for what he had done and acknowledging his problems. Question number 11. At this time, Luis would receive a new nickname from locals. Previously, he was known as Goofy or Squiggly. Goofy, but this is where he's known as Goofy.
Squiggles.
Squiggle, sorry. They're going to change his name from Goofy because, he had a great disposition for the kids. What is he known by now? Is it A, Cyclone, B, the Crazy, C, conflict, or D, wild dog?
These all sound like nicknames he's...
Cyclone, the crazy, conflict, or wild. They sound like EA when like your last name is not in. They're like, oh, you just give yourself a nickname.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the Cyclone. Bigfoot says the crazy, so does Paul. And that's a very good guess, but it is not correct. At this time,
the
he's
Mad
just
Dog.
known simply as conflict.
Oh.
He just,
These all sound like nicknames he would have given himself.
yeah, I mean, most serial killers kind of do sometimes. He has become increasingly problematic anywhere he goes and often turned away by locals. He's now like literally going to towns and they're going like, nah, get the fuck out of here. Like, we don't want you here.
Conflict is here.
Yep. Despite all of this, he had never had any issue with attracting women. Obviously, he's like setting up shops even though he doesn't have sex with them. He pays some bills. He leaves toes at their house. At the time, he has 2 women he's courting full-time when he's arrested. In addition to his Colombian crimes, Luis operated in Ecuador for a while, where he would kill up to 4 children, including that of a young girl who was raped, tortured, and dumped in the way that would match Garavito's MO. So he's for sure did a few, and a few were like, yeah, probably him. His MO, according to him, was to target children of poor or working classes with light-colored eyes. He claimed to feel a force compelling him to kill, and would lure children with bribes or promises of pay for work before torturing them, raping them, and ultimately murdering them. He drank brandy at nearly every crime scene and was it didn't work, dude. And has even had children escape from his grasps due to passing out drunk. This is very Jeffrey
Jesus,
Dahmer.
dude.
Remember Jeffrey Dahmer's whole thing was like he would just like get shit-faced drunk to do these murders and have sex with corpses. It kind of sounds like a very similar like there's obviously a conflict going on in their heads because he's waking up the next day and feeling bad about it and having to get totally faded. In one, he literally like was raping a young boy and passed out inside him, and the boy get the fuck out of there.
Bolted.
Yeah.
What I don't understand is how do these women, like nobody's looked at any of these papers that he's just like left or diaries that he's left around.
I mean, I maybe he's hiding them. Maybe he's not asking. Maybe I misunderstood how he's storing
Maybe he's
it.
got a storage unit.
No. Like specifically, they are being stored at these women's houses.
Right.
But I don't know how. I guess in my mind, I was like thinking he's saying, "Hey, can I leave this here?"
Deborah, you see that top
Yeah.
drawer? Don't open it.
But he could just be like burying it in the back. I don't.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
So
true.
it's a good
I'm
point.
imagining it just like being left on a kitchen table.
Yeah.
It's spring loaded with mouse traps. Don't reach in there.
So one of his victims in the late 70s was captured, molested, and tortured for 12 hours before escaping because he passed out. That boy would later share his story on Colombian TV after Garavito's arrests. Besides the victims who escaped, we'll learn a lot about Garavito by his crime scenes. Again, I've decided mostly to leave children unnamed in their last names. We'll just talk about first names. What I've described as some of this is going to be incredibly graphic from here forward. I mean, we've
Trigger warning.
We've been graphic. This is the most graphic it's going to be. Fast forward 2 minutes or so if you don't want to hear it. According to the Wikipedia page, usually the child would endure prolonged rape and torture by having his hands, feet, and buttocks stabbed with a screwdriver. Garavito was also known to place broken blades in between his fingers and flay the skin of the children's buttocks. Teeth were often knocked out and sharpened objects inserted into the anus. The penis and testicles were also often severed and placed into the child's mouth while alive. They were burned with a lighter, stomped on, and often showed deep cuts in the back, belly, and throat. In some cases, they were sexually abused and as their intestines poured out of their belly, impaled through the anus and out of the mouth, and stabbed over 100 times. Garavito's climax would occur when he decapitated the child alive or cut the throat as he finished, before leaving the severed genitals in the mouth of the decapitated head. Necrophilia with the victim's corpse was also occasionally involved in the crimes, sometimes prematurely, as Garavito would only achieve orgasm by beating and stabbing his victims during intercourse. The bodies of the children were all found completely naked and all bore bite marks and signs of anal penetration. Containers of lubricant were found near every body, along with the empty bottles of the cheapest brandy in Colombia. Most corpses showed signs of prolonged torture.
God damn, dude, this guy fucking sucks so much.
So that's like essentially like what the police report says.
Right.
Like, this is his like the official MO. This is what the detectives have. This is what they're releasing to. That's what a crime scene from Luis Garavito is. You would expect to find, as well as they're not just. I mean, we'll talk about it a little bit. They're not just finding like one body. They're finding a body, 3 yards down, another body,
Mass
another
graves.
body, mass graves.
Damn,
Although his
dude.
murders would be sometime in the early 90s, they would not begin to be investigated until late 1998 after many children were getting reported missing. So he's gotten away with this. He's been murdering since 1992, so 6 straight years of murdering kids before he's even really... we talked about the rampant homeless children in Colombia. This is it right here. There's no one to report them missing. It's the whole thing with like they talk about like the native population in Alaska. They're the people that no one, they didn't any place where a prostitute is murdered.
Right.
They're the invisible people.
I know last podcast talks about the berserker mode that serial
He's gone
killers
full berserker over these 6 years.
It
Yes.
feels like that's where we're at
Yep.
with his.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah.
Because when you get the final numbers, you're gonna be like, wait, what? Because normally I'll talk about almost every individual murder because it's important and it's good to get, remember the victim, but also highlight how fucked up these people are. I think we've done that here.
Yep.
Was it? I wonder if it was similar in Colombia or wherever they're at now, like late '80s, early '90s. Was it the Satanic Panic too? So it's not one guy doing all this. It's probably a bunch of Satanists running around doing it.
We'll get into that.
Ooh.
Nice.
I like that.
Good call.
Foreshadowing.
Good call.
Okay, so, and then remember too, this is after a long-fought Colombian civil war in which children were victimized in many ways beyond the obvious. So this isn't just Luis. There's also like crazy civil war shit happening in the country. Luis's undoing would eventually be his own, however, as in February 6th of 1999, outside the town of Palmyra, the bodies of 2 children are found naked and tortured. Only the next day, only feet away from where the bodies were found, another child was found. All 3 were bound and showed signs of abuse, rape, and torture. Now, the way I've read this to be is they found 2 bodies, went, got the bodies, cleared the crime scene. Nobody stayed back at the crime
Right.
scene.
Day
He
2.
went, killed that night in the same place. That they go back the next day to work on the scene and they find another body.
I bet somebody stays at the crime scene that night.
The brandy balls on this guy.
It was at this time that all the bodies being discovered and the investigation ramps up. The authorities believe that they are dealing with a satanic cult or large child sex trafficking ring. Because, it's so heavy and so prevalent that they're like, there's no way this is one person. It wouldn't be long before they found out otherwise because Luis would pass out drunk on top of a child's corpse with a lit cigarette in his hand. This would start a fire in a sugarcane field in which he had been committing this most recent crime. During the fire, Luis would receive... Sorry, hit my wrong button here. Luis would receive severe burns and leave some identifying items behind. Some of the items left behind are what showed authorities they were likely only dealing with one man. He left behind a pair of glasses, his shoes, his shorts, his underwear, as well as receipts, handwritten notes that included the address of Graciela Zabaleta and other women that he had been seeing. From these items, they were able to note that a man who was 5'4" to 5'6", walked with a limp from the right side injury, from likely the broken leg in 1996, and had astigmatism in his left eye because of the glasses that they found. Initially, a local man named Pedro Pablo Ramirez was arrested for the crimes, and a local identified him as the predator. He would remain in jail for until the attacks continued when he was incarcerated. So they're like, oh, we got our guy. It's Pedro Pablo. We're fucking going down. Like, put it over your head, spin it like a helicopter, whatever you got to do.
Imagine being that
And then
guy.
the
That's
crimes
what you're wrongly
continue.
accused of.
Right? He's like, I'm just your average pervert.
So at this time, the lead detective of the case was Aldemar Duran, and he began to suspect Garavito as a perpetrator. Because, again, he's known. Like, people know of him. He's goofy. He's
His conflict.
He's conflict now, yes. So since the case has reached out, since this was the case, he reached out to one of Luis's current girlfriends who said she hadn't seen him in months, but handed over a leather suitcase she had found. Inside the case...
Hold on. Would that make her a current girlfriend? Like, if you had a girlfriend that you hadn't seen in months, not like hadn't seen, but like no contact, because I'm assuming he's gone no contact.
Well, he's kind of setting up franchises. So maybe this is the one that's like really into him and holding out hope. They're like, yeah, he'll be back. He'll be back.
franchises.
But she hands over the suitcase. Like, hey, I found this. Maybe it's locked. Maybe it's that far. And these people are like, I don't want to, fuck with his privacy. But she hands over a leather suitcase that she believes belongs to Luis. Inside the case were photos and descriptions of murdered boys, receipts, tally marks on a sheet of paper, and bills. This would lead them to Garavito's home, where he could not be found. But he would not stay gone. He was picked up a few days later for an unrelated assault and rape on a 12-year-old boy. The boy was rescued by a 16-year-old homeless boy, and they ran off together to a farm where they were pursued by Garavito and hidden by another child. So Luis Garavito comes, lures the 12-year-old homeless boy off. The 16-year-old homeless boy sees it and is like, what the fuck? And the homeless community is now fully aware of the disappearances. They're on alert.
Well, also, the homeless communities are usually pretty tight-knit.
And that's
anyway.
exactly what it is. This is like his little brother, practically. He's just the 16-year-old protecting this 12-year-old. So he goes and he sees what Garavito's doing. He throws a big old fucking rock at him, knocks him down. They run to a farm. Garavito's chasing. They get there, and there's another child at the farm. They tell him what's happening, and Garavito comes, and he's like, "Oh, I'm looking for my nephews." And the kid's like, "Oh, I haven't seen anybody here."
The stone's on that kid to
That's
just stand there and be like, nah, bro.
Exactly.
And to know that he's not going to be like, all right, I'll take you then.
Exactly. So the child from the farm tells Garavito bad directions.
That's got some, that has some Steven Stainer vibes. A little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And not only did you say, I don't know, she gives him intentionally difficult directions to follow, and Luis gets lost in the woods.
You take a left and a left and a left and go jump up your own ass.
Where he was eventually detained by police that night.
Solid, dude.
He is arrested, but his omissions are not enough for police. They use his glasses to connect him with a rare eye condition, as well as DNA that was left in his underwear at the crime scene. His DNA would come back.
Phrasing.
His DNA would come back to hit a number of murder victims. Question number 12. To how many victims did the DNA connect Luis? This is 250 points for the closest, 1,000 if you nail it. This is direct connection to murder victims by DNA. How many? What's the score currently, Greg?
500 to 250.
We got a low scoring affair here, a pitcher's duel, and we are not far from the end, boys. So
get your shit together.
Is that 23?
Mm-hmm.
23 from Bigfoot. 91 from Paul. To how many victims did the DNA connect Luis? Upon the return of DNA testing, Luis Garavito would be connected to 140 murders.
Good gal.
And an additional 32 would later be added for a total of 172 murders of children.
God damn.
So 140 directly from DNA, 32 are added from other evidence. 170, the murders of 172 children. Question number 13. We're wrapping it off fast here. Another one that somebody's getting points on. Did you add those, Greg?
I did.
Okay, good. Question number 13. On how many of the murder charges would Luis be found guilty? Remember, just because there's DNA evidence doesn't mean he's being found guilty. There's a whole lot of...
I fucking hate that. We found your DNA in some underwear at one murder scene, and then in the same circumstance across 171 other murder scenes, but we got to try each one individually.
Yeah. So
really?
the high end is 172. Obviously, the low end is 0.
Probably not going to be 0.
Is that your answer again?
Yeah.
Okay, same answer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Paul's and Bigfoot's going up to 117. Bigfoot's getting the points on that one because he is found guilty of 138 of the murder charges.
Jesus.
And sentenced to 1,853 years, 9 days in prison.
I'm sorry. Is sentenced to what now?
Yeah, but wait, this is where he was not found not guilty of the remaining 24 murders. The trials just remain ongoing, or the cases remain open. So at this point, they've got him for 1,800 years. Or do they? His sentence would be the lengthiest in Colombian history. However, in a large Colombian boo-boo, I regret to inform you that at the time, the maximum sentence you can serve in prison was 40 years. Question number 14.
It fucked up, yo.
In what year did Luis Garavito die? This is multiple choice. Is it A, 2004, 06, 13, 17, 20, this year, 2022, or is he still alive? 04, 06, 13, 17, 20, 22, still alive. Double still alive.
He's almost always still alive.
Double points. He is indeed still alive and eligible for parole in 2023.
You got to think they would have updated that rule by now.
Well, they have.
We've got one exception.
So,
right.
This guy.
At least one.
Many people have called on him to receive a longer sentence, even though the law at the time had stated that the maximum prison sentence in Colombia is 40 years. It has now been changed. It's 60 now. But even still, it's like he
doesn't
got
seem
sentenced to
long enough.
1,800 years. If you were
Doesn't
19 when you committed the crime, you could
Yeah.
come out after your maximum sentence. So Luis hasn't spent 40 years in yet, but he is eligible for parole next year.
Hopefully, they
That's
just
wild.
tack on another one of those murders that's still ongoing. Like, here's
That's-
another 60.
I think that's hopefully like a brand new thing.
Yeah.
Just like it's like having a whole deck of skip-a-turns in Uno, and like every time he's like, "Okay, draw two," you're like, "Nah, sorry, bro, skip a turn." You don't get to, at the end of this sentence, we'll try again.
So many Colombian citizens want him to spend life in prison or receive the death penalty, neither of which Colombia currently has. Although Garavito suffers from an eye cancer that leaves him weak and in need of near daily blood transfusions, he is very hopeful for his release upon eligibility of parole. He is said to downplay what he has done and expresses his interest to enter politics once he is out. You'd probably fit in, actually. As well as enter the ministry as a Pentecostal pastor and marry a woman, and he wants to help abused children and women upon his release.
Yeah.
Is anybody buying that? Is there anybody there is there anybody here in this room who's like, you know what? Maybe he is trying to turn it around after all this time.
Nah, as the guy who's
Is
usually
there
like,
anybody in
give him a chance. I'm good.
is there
You'd probably just
anybody
kill him.
do you think in the system there who's like, he probably learned his lesson?
Probably not.
I don't think so.
You would hope not?
I mean, what percentage of 1,853 is 40? He's not serving a whole lot of sentence. I didn't realize, and I'm sorry because we are rusty, there is not another question.
Ooh.
So today's winner
Cool, bro.
is Bigfoot.
Cool, bro.
I'm sorry it didn't seem as extreme. Bigfoot, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Zerp.
Oh,
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Next
I'll
time I'm
see
going
you
to put
again on
last
here, Paul.
question. That's a good route to go. We got to 1,000 on one of you guys. Congratulations, Bigfoot. We have a
you.
little bit more to go here. We just don't have any more questions. So the max sentence has been changed to 60 years. A lot of people want him to spend it all in there. It's not. So with that, we finish up. Perhaps one of the most prolific serial killers we've ever covered and probably will ever cover. The coveted Fuckface of the Day award goes to Luis Garavito. I don't know how it could possibly go to anybody else. I mean,
There was a guy in traffic on the way over here who was kind of a prick, but you're right. I think this guy takes that.
I was just going to say, Greg,
Yeah.
get that camera on your face. Give me your final thoughts on Luis Garavito before we change the subject.
This guy fucking sucks, and something should have happened to him much sooner.
Paul, Bigfoot, you guys, any thoughts?
No, bad person.
Did you expect it to be this extreme when you came to
No, I don't.
Bad
person.
I don't remember feeling this bad before. Maybe it was because I was drunk a lot when I used to come, and I'm
that
not
is
today.
true. That is true.
But
You need to step it up, buddy.
well, then I
also
get to go home and play
new.
like a 2-year-old.
Might be more fun drunk. Yeah, that's
Speaking
it,
the
man.
same language.
Let's stop talking about this fucking guy. I'm going to do a new thing here at the end of episodes. We're going to call it a palate cleanser.
Okay.
I watch a lot of horror movies.
Yeah.
Some of them good, some of them bad. I'm going to put a little recommendation at the end of every episode here. It'll probably mostly be horror. I might have some other shit. But I had not seen this movie. It's from 1993. It's John Carpenter's Body Bags. Seen it?
I haven't
Seen
watched it.
Made for TV, but it's really good. It's like 2 hours long. It's anthological, which I fucking love anthologies, so it's easy for me to jump into those. It's John Carpenter. It stars John Carpenter. Super fun, over the top, silly, really great wraparound, great cameos, including motherfucking Mark Hamill, who becomes an evil killer. So
Ooh.
get in there. Go check out 1993's Body Bags. This is the place for guest goodbyes. Paul, I know you don't have a social media.
No.
Any announcements? Anything you'd like to say? Welcome back to the show. The fans have missed you.
Yeah, I know. I'm here. Thank you.
Very good.
Bye.
Eloquent in its brevity. And tonight's winner, Bigfoot. His social media is right there below. Check him out. BIGGFOOT Designs. He makes some really cool rings. Now he's into some metalworking and knives. Bigfoot, anything you'd like to share with us?
Nah. Just I'm stoked to be here and happy that this thing is going again.
We're stoked to have you, man.
I'm really excited.
I am too, dude.
Really
this is gonna be good. It's just good to, like, if nothing else, we get to hang out with the boys.
Exactly.
Yo.
Saturdays, getting together, being together, talking about fucked up shit. Okay, shut up for a second while I talk about some official business. We're still rocking the Instagram. We also have a TikTok now.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
we're pretty much up with the times.
Yeah.
So come find us. We're Serial Chillers Podcast on both. The big new thing is going to be our Discord. We're not doing Facebook or Meta, whatever the fuck it is now. We're not doing that. The old Facebook group still exists. I have put a message in there. If you're part of it, you probably saw it. It's pinned to the top. Come join the Discord. If you haven't been on Discord, it is exactly like the Facebook group, but better. And I don't just say that to sell it. Is it not truly just like a much better, more personalized experience? Like the Facebook group is one wall. If you guys come over and check out the Discord, if you're not familiar with it, you can get on your phone, you can get on your computer. We have several categories for news. So if you're not really into true crime news, you just like the show and the banter, we also have pages for music, food, video games. We stream to Twitch sometimes. I'm
Both.
on there like 3 days a week. You can find me. I'm Cromulent Jesse. But you can go in there. You can chat with similar-minded people, and not just typing. There's voice chat channels. There's video chat channels. We play video games together. We just hang out. We recommend music and movies. It's a cool place to hang out. And again, once this is going, I think we're gonna get a lot of you guys in there, and we're really gonna have a lot of fun and be very very active. So
a lot of fun to shit talk people in there too.
It is
just in every channel at once.
Paul and Erica have some epic battles. You guys stop into the Discord and you'll see.
So today, I know it.
I have to do Discord because I'm not allowed on Facebook anymore.
Yep, there you go.
For
And
like a year and a half.
again, if you're listening, it is a video version is available as well as the audio version. It's on YouTube, Serial Chillers Podcast.
The YouTubes.
The YouTubes. You can email us, serialchillerspodcast@gmail.com. Believe it or not, you can still call or text us, 805-666-2513. Insta and Discord, probably still best ways to get a hold of us. Thank you guys very much for joining us again after a long hiatus. 3 years, guys. Let me break the rust off for a little bit, but we're going to get this. I really hope you guys like the format changes. If you don't, I'm sorry, but this is the way we're going to do it. I hope you guys like the video.
We're still hammering some stuff out too, so bear
100%.
with us.
Well, again, like
Bear
you guys, some of you probably know
That
this,
too.
some of you may not. Say that again, Paul.
Bear down.
Yeah, bear down, exactly. Because we're 6 weeks ahead on episodes. By the time you guys are watching this right now on October 28th, it is November 17th. Or I'm sorry, it's September 17th. So we are in the future. No, we're 6 weeks behind, and it's by the time we are rolling and episodes are coming out, you
Things
guys
will
are
be different.
yeah, production is going to get better. We have a new logo coming.
Things are gonna change.
There are a
I
lot of
can
things,
feel
but
it.
we need to get ahead for things like this, so we have done that, and we're getting episodes ready. Thank you, everybody listening. Thank you, everybody watching. Thank you, Hello Greg. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Bigfoot.
Thank you, watcher.
Yeah, thank you, Jim. Thank you, everybody out there. Appreciate you guys all. We'll see you guys next Friday. And remember, don't talk to strangers.
Or do. You do.
What's up?
It's everybody. Also, we forgot to get a comeback. We'll kill you.
Oh, we didn't do it for break, dude. Go back or we'll kill you.
Like just a title card.
Da-na-na-na-na.